Oh, but you're not in chat. You're trolling.
Me? I'm
Yeah.
not. You're right. I'm not. I'm watching LCS. Let me get in chat. Okay. Okay, I'm there. Wait, what are the chances that they sub in Golden Glue?
I don't know. Can they bring both Swolbros? Is that
So Swolbro number 1 is
their
starter.
starter? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So they could bring in Swolbro number 2.
What are the chances they bring in Blabber though? Just put him on Kindred.
Oh god. I mean, what are the chances that Kindred and Slash or Zillion make it through pick ban for either of these teams, right? Like they both play that cancer fucking comp.
I know that everybody can hear right now, but just so you know, I've got like preview slides for each matchup, so not specifically each one, but just the stuff that I had copied from the podcast. So we have an intro of sorts.
Awesome, awesome.
This will also be the first time I've really casted myself, so this might be kind of awkward when we get there.
Okay, well, just don't make it awkward. Turn nameplates off.
I'm sure the cast would love that. Yeah, by the way, I don't know who this is, but they're doing stuff like.
Okay, so I can turn my nameplates off and it doesn't affect anything. It didn't occur to me that you're streaming.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately the hub, the beginning and the end, the alpha and the omega.
I don't think that's what hub means,
Oh.
but
I think that's pretty close.
I'm pretty sure hub is like a connector kind of. It's kind of like the centralized location that like other things come out of.
Oh yeah, like Pizza Hub. Yeah.
You know, I've never been to Pizza Hub. Is that any good?
I don't know.
I think it's pointless to show bot lane shared champion pool because like they all play the same champions, right? There aren't any 80 carries. Like the only 80 carry that like very few people play, or like it's a specialized pick, is Draven, right?
Well, you can talk about the Callista priority for Sven compared to the not Callista priority for Sneaky.
For sure, but those are like the only 80 carries, right? So like they're showing, oh yeah, it looks like Sneaky plays, Jinx, and that's their, that's their pick that TSM isn't gonna worry about, or the TSM doesn't play.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the weird thing about.
Plays though, right? Like.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the weird thing about 80 carries is because they're all kind of similar. Like if you play 80 carry, you tend to play a couple of 80 carries at least. Like you might specialize in 3 or 4, but you don't have any true like one tricks other than maybe those weird Vayne one tricks who don't have brains, but even they will tend to play like Kaisa.
We got told that our music is too loud. They can't hear our commentary.
That's okay. They don't need to hear the cheeky bants before the game.
I don't like Hai's hair. It looks like it's like front loaded. Like if you look at him from like his right side, it doesn't look right.
I don't have the stream up, so I have no opinion on this particular one. I tend to like Hai's style though. He tends to dress well.
I mean, it's hard for me to really judge people off of style on these because like the wardrobe is taken care of there, right? Like they don't.
Not necessarily. I feel like they bring in stuff. Like
It
you see the
definitely
difference
used
between
to
the way
be.
like Frost dresses and the way that other.
So Frusker is different though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
But
I
I
feel
know
like,
like
I feel
years
like Dash has
previous-
his own stuff too. Like,
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
from what I've gathered, at least they like get a budget that they go out and pick stuff out for themselves for, and they have their own like separate
Again, I
costuming.
know like years previous they just had like a set of suits and like they would swap between them. They'd swap between each other's suits. That was probably a couple years ago though.
Yeah, they really need to go LCK style and just wear like the one set of suits, each like all split. You have just
Hmm.
like, and they're all ridiculous too. You have like the floral print season, and the next one you had like the weird stripes.
I mean, you do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, they've kind of gone away from that, which is disappointing. Anyway, it's 4 o'clock. We're gonna hit them with an intro video here. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Bilgewater Week 8. My name's Meristematic. With me is my usual partner in crime, Kato.
Greetings, summoners.
Um, yeah, we actually haven't casted Gold Cap yet this split, so this is kind of exciting. Um, as a side note, I'm a little bit sick, so I apologize if I drop out or sneeze or something in all of your ears. But we're gonna get through this as best we can today. With that said, we've got some exciting games. Right now on screen, you're seeing the Bilgewater standings as they come in before the week. We're gonna jump back and forth to this slide quite a bit, I'm sure, throughout the cast for a little bit of standing. But our first matchup of the day is going to be between Maximum Effort and the Sleeper Diamonds, and this is our big playoff bubble game for the day.
Yeah, definitely. The top four teams make it into playoffs in each division, and as you can see, Maximum Effort currently sitting at 6, just on the outside. This is pretty much a must-win game for them to still have playoff hopes. That said, if you're Sleeper Diamonds, if you pull this win off, you're looking pretty good at getting that step into the playoffs.
Yeah, I will say this game is significant for Sleeper Diamonds, though, as the rest of their schedule is High Octane Gamers and Return of the Middle Sticks. So
So a
not
pretty rough
yeah,
schedule.
pretty rough road. They kind of need this win in order to feel comfortable at all. But Max has a little bit easier of a schedule down this stretch. I don't remember it 100% offhand, but it can't be any more difficult than Hog and Middle Stick, because I know that they've played both teams so far. So, um, with that said, I'm not quite ready because I didn't change the scoreboard. Give me 1 second. Scuffed cast.
It's okay. I'll look up what they have to play. It looks like they have to play UCO and Hardstuck Gold, so a little bit easier, slightly easier schedule to end out the season.
All right, now we're ready to get into game. If you are set up and ready to go.
Always.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. And welcome back to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. On the blue side of the map, our team right now at 3-3, looking to make their stake for the playoffs. It's Maximum Effort. In the top lane, ex-Reverend on Dr. Mundo. Chimichungus making his maximum debut on Nunu. The Reverend Christ in mid lane on Ari. I Know the Truth and Glitter and Gains in the bottom lane playing Ashe and Nami.
And then on the red side, we do have those Sleeper Diamonds with Michael Cox in the top lane on the Renekton, as devs intended, in the jungle on the Sejuani, Xander of Astora on the Azir in the mid lane, and then True Rage and Calastic on the Vayne Morgana bottom lane.
Yeah, I did want to take just a second. I know that Cyrene and Vid touched on it just a little bit last cast, but Dr. Mundo got some huge buffs during this last patch, and I was wondering when or where we would see him crop up, and immediately our first game of the day, Max throws down the gauntlet on the Dr. Mundo.
It'll definitely be interesting to watch. I think he's still pretty weak early, so a strong lane bully like Renekton should have a pretty good shot at keeping him down. That said, the numbers look pretty big, so we'll see how much those buffs help him out this game.
Yeah, and then I think our big marquee matchup here is going to be Revan Christ versus Xander of Astora in mid lane. Xander of Astora quietly putting in a really solid season on some kind of untraditional picks. He's played a lot of the Talia. I think he's played a couple of games of the Azir. And Revan Christ got his basically trademarked Ari pick, so I'm really excited to see how they match up.
Definitely going to be an extremely good matchup. Especially with playing Azir out of meta. He also received a small buff this patch. We'll see how much that affects him. That said, I think that the big thing here for Sleeper Diamonds is they have so much scaling. They have the Azir in the mid lane who is a massive late game monster, but has a lot of trouble in the early game, similar to Vayne in that bottom lane. And even Sejuani, who doesn't do a whole lot early. All of these champions scale so extremely well. We'll see if they're able to make it to that scaling here.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. I just wanted to quickly highlight Xander Restore going for the lethal tempo keystone, which I've seen a little bit of on Azir. I think that was the more popular pick, but I've seen a lot of Conqueror recently as well.
Yeah, I think Conquer was really popular before it got nerfed on range champions down to 2-second uptime. Now it's kind of dependent. Some people swear by it, some people won't touch it. It seems like Xander Restore wants some more consistent damage that'll come out of lethal tempo.
Yeah, and already Sleeper Diamond's making some moves. They are going into the blue side onto that blue buff right now, and Ex-Reverend has spotted them out. Nunu a little bit late to the party here to collapse, so they're going to steal away the blue buff. And that's the first buff, actually, that Sejuani's been able to take. Or actually, she's got double blue right now.
Yeah,
it's just a single red, and the snowball comes in. Michael Cox gets charmed up and taken down, and just left kind of spectating there by his teammates. The Azir didn't collapse quite in time, and it was the 3v2 for Max that secures first blood.
Yeah, and I think the big thing there is Ahri being the first to roam up, and then it's just so hard to run away from a Nunu. With that snowball, he's going to track you down. He's going to eventually catch up to you. And Michael Cox flashed in, tried to get a quick dash out, but unfortunately for him, he gets brought down for the first blood. And going straight on to Revenkreis is exactly what you want if you're a maximum effort fan, as that's really been the focal point of their games for this entire split. As we see another gank go on mid lane, looks like Xander's able to just shuffle out of that one.
Yeah, just use that little dash out. But a nice bubble onto Calastic, as I Know the Truth. Does quite a bit of damage with that extra volley. Gets condemned away. That was a good disengage from True Rage. So all in all, kind of an even health trade, but that always favors the Nami lane when you have that built-in sustain with the ebb and flow.
Yeah, no, Nami is a fun and interactive laner, and we should see that here as puts out damage and heals herself. What a fun champion.
Yeah, so as Devs Intended did get the 3 buff on the Nunu, which is honestly kind of crazy for Sejuani to have that early pressure. Does sacrifice his top laner for it, so maybe not the best you could have hoped for to start out with, but getting a 3 buff on a Nunu early on is pretty big.
I'm not saying that I would always sacrifice my top laner for the enemy blue buff, but it's definitely something I would consider every time.
Nunu's back in mid lane. He's drifting in, not going to hit anything on the Azir, but just wanted to highlight again a lot of resources being put in from Chimichungus onto that mid lane, trying to get Revenkreis in a good position.
Yeah, and he seems to know who his carry is, and he's trying to get Revenkreis to a bit more of a lead here in this early game. If he's able to, come out of lane with a couple of kills, he'll be in a perfect position to really take this game over.
Yeah, our first dragon's going to be that Earth Dragon, so we should see some early priority put on it from both teams. Nunu, of course, can take it, I believe, if he's got a blue buff at level 3. I don't know that we'll see that this game necessarily, but it's always a consideration against a Nunu team that dragon can be taken away really early. And that's a good ward over the wall from Glitter and Gain's able to spot out as Devs Intended, and he won't be able to contest that Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, and that XP lead that you might have gotten from triple buffing is pretty much out the door if Nunu ends up getting the second Scuttle Crab.
Won't talk about how that works in with the Riot philosophy, but probably true, unfortunately.
Probably don't want to start too much on jungle with me. As we see Michael Cox really flexing his muscles early with this Renekton pick. He really should bully this lane pretty hard, at least until level 6, and probably a while afterwards. Even after giving up that first blood, still has a massive CS lead in this top lane, now looking at 16. That wave's going to crash, so it's probably going to get down to about 12, but still a massive lead already.
Yeah, it was the tactical death earlier just to get that longsword.
Yeah, that way he can
give him some more pressure in that lane.
Yeah, also burnt his flash for it, just in case.
Anyway, pressure being put down. Ooh, double bubble from Glitter and Gain's not going to matter too much, but hitting that skill shots puts that fear into the opponents. They can pull it out later on.
Yeah, as we see, Nunu has just had full control of the river here, which makes it so much easier to gank places and maintain ward coverage.
It's kind of interesting.
Because
He clears out that ward immediately. Xander of Astoria goes and puts one just a little bit deeper, just to make sure that they see him. And Nunu's actually rolling his way into Dragon. I
it
believe
is
he's
warded,
clearing the
though.
ward in there. Or did he start on Dragon? I'm not sure. I'm actually going to
I think he just
We're
started
taking
it.
a risk. He
Yeah,
started
he's
it.
on it.
And I think the ward actually timed out because we haven't seen any pings or any movement from Sleeper Diamonds. Bubble lands, but Glitter and Gaines gets bound up as well. The 2v2 kind of happening. Classic not really willing to commit, but takes a big chunk of damage in the slow from the Ashe passive, allowing him to track him down. Teleport being channeled from Michael Cox. You can't cancel that. Oh, Bubble doesn't quite
He's
connect
level
on
7.
him. He'll dash through, gets the stun onto I Know the Truth, chunking him down, takes him low, but not able to finish him off. The Ignite burning down just to prevent a little bit of healing from the ultimate. Now True Rage tumbles in, not able to get that damage. The Dragon is slain, but now the 1v1 in mid lane as the Charm lands onto Xander of Astora, getting the extra damage with the Sand Shoulders, though. I don't think anything's going to happen.
Is that a visual bug, or did Michael Cox not commit his ultimate to that? I think if he does, then he ends up getting killed there for his teleport, but...
I guess he didn't actually commit the ultimate. The
True Rage.
final hour and the tumble in from True Rage, but as Dev's Intendants here gets the W on I Know the Truth, and the Aftershock proc will actually take him down, but Michael Cox gets found on the backside as Chimichungus takes him down, and Glitter and Gaines will finish off another. Reverend's teleported down as well, and he'll go ahead and slap down True Rage, and it's a 3-for-1 as Reverend Christ trying to track down the Sejuani as well. Can't be too spicy with this one. He takes the Blast Plant, but gets taken down by Xander of Astora. Now Chimichungus chasing onto him with the snowballs. The Emperor's Divide by some distance, but they're still on the wrong side of the map, being chased down by the Mundo and Nami. Nami's still full health. Where does Sejuani want to go? I don't think this is a safe venture for Sejuani. Gets hit by the Cleaver, and one more Cleaver should do it. Oh, back over to the Sejuani. Who's going to get it? The Ash Arrow doesn't connect, but Glitter and Gaines takes it down with the auto attack.
And at the end of the day, as Dev's Intended, able to expend the flash and make sure that kill doesn't go on to the Ashe, which, gold onto the Nami probably means less than onto the Ashe. At the end of the day, a massive fight that comes out with a pretty good-sized gold lead here for Maximum Effort. Now up about 1.5k.
Yeah, and it's spread across their entire team as well. I mean, other than the 2 kills localized on the Nami, you've got one on everybody else. It's, you got to distribute the wealth early on.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exactly where you want to be if you are this team. I'd like to point out, though, notice in that fight that Xander Bastora on the Azir opted for the Ignite, which is interesting. Normally you'll see more of a defensive summoner out of the Azir, but more so building towards the Rod of Ages, which is definitely not normal. Usually you would want to see a attack speed. Yeah, Nashor's Tooth. But perhaps valuing more the HP, definitely interesting. He decided to go with that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It doubles down on your scaling a lot. So you're going to spike really hard when you hit like 25, 30 minutes now. But until then, you're a lot weaker than you normally would be.
Yeah, and you're still not getting the stats that you really want.
Tidal Wave coming out, going to knock up Calastic. True Rage with a good Condemn Away, but Reverend Christ is here as he dashes in. They'll pick off Calastic and just take the 1 kill now. Chimichungus caught just a little bit on the wrong side of this fight. The Absolute Zero not doing a whole lot as he'll get auto-attacked down by Xander of Astora. And now Michael Cox and ex-Reverend going to scrap on near the top lane. Ultimate ticking for Dr. Mundo, but doesn't matter. Can Michael Cox actually burn him down? The Blast Plate get him in. He doesn't have any cooldowns up, though, so he won't be able to finish that one off. It's a 1-for-1 trade cross map.
Yeah, a great roam down there for the Revenkreist, is able to pick up another kill in this bottom lane. But Xander of Astora on this Roa Azir is able to pick up a 2nd kill, and still getting shoved in, though, even though they roamed, and actually has less CS than Revenkreist, even though the Revenkreist has been the first to roam each time. Is definitely speaking to how strong of a laner the Revenkreist has been this split.
Yeah, that said, you're not super disappointed if you're Xander. You're hitting your items, assuming you don't get hit by the snowball. He dodges out the charm, goes ahead and dashes away. That's a clean escape for him. And as Dev's Intended, on the Rift Herald right now, trying to get an objective back right now for Sleeper Diamonds. Xander walks in, spots Chimichungus out. You don't want to take too much. You're going to force the flash away.
Yeah, as his E was still on cooldown from the last escape, as Sejuani's actually so low, and Nunu might find him out here.
Yeah, Nunu spotted them in the pit. He doesn't really want to commit in here. He's going to consume it. He steals
Oh, no.
away the Rift Herald. Now trying to wail down on the Sejuani. His health bar is getting pretty low, though. The Cleaver comes in from Reverend trying to finish this one off as Reverend Christ jumps in. They will finish off both junglers, and the Rift Herald picked up by Reverend Christ now. So the steal away from the Nunu and the Rift Herald secured for the Ahri.
Yeah, as Devs intended, not quite hitting the smite, not quite able to secure that. Nunu just sort of walks up and consumes it, and at the end of the day, that's pretty good for maximum effort as they pick up that Herald, especially pre 14 minutes. If they're able to drop that and get some turret plates for it, that could be like a 300 gold swing right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it just feels like the teams are pretty even so far, but maximum effort just getting the higher value out of the trades. We saw a better trade in the bottom lane on the team fight. We're seeing the better trade of objectives when they take the Mountain Dragon for nothing basically, and now able to steal away the Rift Herald. They're trading up in all of these situations. Now Calastic caught on the wrong side, takes the Ash Arrow plus the Nami Wave to the face, and I know the Truth picks up his second kill of the game.
Yeah, and pretty smart there by True Rage to just get out, as he saw 4 members of Maximum Effort were already in that bottom lane. Either way, Classic has to give his life, and this Ashe that's already extremely far ahead, you see the finished Blade of the Ruined King versus the Cutlass, is going to be even more far ahead.
Yeah, now Reverend sitting here has the finished Sunfire Cape, sitting at 2-0 and 2. Might be able to duel back just a little bit with this Renekton. And if you can flip that lane, you've got basically 3 winning lanes now as Max, and it's going to be a very difficult proposition for Sleeper Diamonds to come back.
Extremely difficult. And I'd like to see this Renekton opt for the 800 gold Grievous Wounds item, but doesn't...
Sejuani ult doesn't quite connect over the wall. Still going to commit for this, but the double bubble able to stun him up. I know the Truth just bound forever. That Morgana binding lasted so long. They're still chasing down I know the Truth, the tumble in plus the final hour, and the speed boost will be able to finish him off. But now Chimichungus comes in, hits the greatest snowball ever. Glitters on a killing spree, by the way. True Rage gets stunned up, now gets the double kill, 4-0 and 3 on the Nami. The flash forward looking for Calastic. The bubble lands, the flash not good enough, and the absolute zero will finish him off as Calastic goes down. Chimichungus and the rest of Maximum Effort collapse in the bottom lane for 3 kills even.
Yeah, nix everything that I've said about the Revan Christ being the carry. It's obviously glittering gains. Now 4-0 and 4 on the Tsunami with the flash forward bubble to secure the final kill, and just a really strong effort here out of Maximum Effort as they're now so far ahead here in this bottom lane. They pick up that first turret, they pick up plates on it. That Herald is now solo pushing bottom lane.
Yeah, the Herald dropped a little bit too late to get the extra turret plates, but does secure the first tower for Maximum Effort, and allows them to get that advantage where they swing 3 people into mid lane and can start pressuring this tower as well before the rotation from Sleeper Diamonds.
Yeah, and as we see out of this Azir, just not even really able to wave clear, as he doesn't have a lot of AP with this Roa build. He doesn't have CDR, he doesn't have attack speed, which is really what he wants on this champion. And his scaling has just been set so far behind by opting for this Roa build, and even goes for the Sorcerer's Shoes. So I don't know where he's going to be getting his attack speed from, if he's just relying on lethal tempo or what. Maybe he'll end up going into Nashor's anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of interesting. I hate looking at it with the glasses, like the glasses of it's not working this game, therefore it's bad. But in this particular situation, I think opting for this scaling might have been the wrong choice for this particular game. Maybe the Roa build's fantastic otherwise, but so not like a general criticism, I guess, specifically this game. But now the Charm not going to quite connect onto as Devs intended, but he gets chunked out. The Ignite taking him down, not going to finish him off as the Shuffle pushes 1 into tower. They're trading back. It's 2 for 2 so far as Reverend teleports in, and now he's caught on the wrong side, gets stunned just inside tower range, and True Rage will be able to finish him off as that's 3 kills going the way of Sleeper Diamonds. They're able to stave off the mid push.
Which is actually massive, as they were starting to get pretty far behind in this gold lead, but with their scaling picks, especially that Vayne able to pick up a kill there, it's definitely goes a long way to trying to get them to that late game where they are so strong.
Yeah, and it just felt like the CC from the Condemn into the wall. They're gonna aggress onto Chimichungus, but he'll flash away. Anyway, it felt like the CC during that fight just wasn't quite landing from Maximum Effort. We saw the Charm sail just a little bit wide. The Ash Arrow wasn't used. The bubble, I think, didn't quite connect either, or it might have
I
hit
believe,
somebody in the back. It just wasn't quite synced up. They weren't chunking out the right target at the right time.
yeah. As we see Xander going in on Revenkreist, but Revenkreist just going to walk away. Um, I believe that the Nami bubble ended up landing on Xander there at the beginning, and I think that the setup from Nami was great, especially with the wave, but Xander was able to make a really great shuffle to turn that around and
Yeah,
save his team from being wiped there.
yeah. It is the mid lane turret, though, for Revan Christ, as they're able to get that. The double Mountain Dragon coming in pretty huge for maximum effort so far, and will continue to be a scary point throughout the game. You look at their team, and you don't think it's the fastest Baron team, but with double Mountain Dragon, they got some damage, you know?
Yeah, double Mountain plus Nunu plus Ash, they definitely do have the ability to take it. It's not like some of those comps will be gone in 2 seconds flat, but with that double Mountain, you definitely can't leave them alone with it for too long.
Asher are going to land on the Scholastic, not able to get the Black Shield up in time, and they'll layer that perfectly into the bubble, and Chimichungus will chomp him down for the kill. So they get the pick onto the enemy support, and they'll start to roll through the Sun Disc in mid.
Yeah, and that Sun Disc does not last long, and they're now pushing onto that tier 2. We do see Michael Cox coming down on the Renekton, though.
Yeah, X-Reverend doesn't have the teleport available, neither does Michael Cox, but was trying to join up, gets the call to go back to the lane. Dragon spawning here in a couple seconds, going to be the Vape Dragon, the Airy Boy. It's not a huge prize, but, one that you'll take, for sure.
Definitely better than nothing, and a bit less risk than trying to push down that tier 2 as they turn that also into a blue buff steal.
Yeah, and now, what do you want to see from maximum effort? It seems like they're not necessarily stalled out right now, but it is still early on in the game. What pressure point do they need to hit here coming up?
I think the big thing is just maintaining their vision in the enemy jungle, trying to choke out.
Charm lands onto True Rage. The shuffle back in is really good, but Reverend Christ just takes it forward. He'll take down the Vayne. Now the Tidal Wave coming through. Scholastic on the flank with the Morgana hits the Soul Shackle, but he has no follow-up, and he'll go down on the other side of the fight. I don't know why we're watching this exactly, but I know the truth goes down. The two junglers were fighting up on the top side. The bubble lands onto Xander of Astora, and that'll take him down as well. And it's a messy fight, but it does go in favor of Max.
And what was insane there was the Revenkreist gets shuffled under turret, is able to pick up the kill onto True Rage, and still survive for so long. Required Asdevs intended to follow him around and finally secure that kill. And at the end of the day, even though they're diving a tier 2, maximum effort comes out on top with a 2-for-3 trade.
Yeah, Xander Vestora did. I believe he picked up 2 kills during that, so he's up to 4 and 2. Has the Stinger completed for that little bit of attack speed. If he can hit this item spike, where he gets that Gnasher's Tooth right as that Roa stacks, that could be the scariest Azir that we've seen.
It could be extremely strong, and with the Vayne now going towards that Rage Blade, once they hit those 2-item power spikes, they'll just be so strong within these team fights. You know that Nunu and Mundo are always tanky, but with how much damage this team will be putting out, we'll see if they're able to actually tank up.
Yeah, now Glitter and Reverend Christ going ahead and clearing out some wards around that Baron area, looking to set up there. You have the 80 carries actually isolated on the bottom side of the map, which is, maybe not the best situation for the Ashe to be in if True Rage was feeling particularly spicy. If this were solo queue, I think you see that 80 carry 1v1 right now.
Likely so, though the Ashe is up a significant amount.
Oh, he drifted, not quite able to connect with Scholastic, but Reverend Christ is just going to burst him out, and that puts Xander Vestora on the wrong side of life, basically. Oh, he gets pegged by the Ash Arrow, and he should go down. It's just a matter of cleaning up. Who gets the kill? It's Chimichungus on the Nunu. Who'll take him down.
And that's probably going to be the Baron.
Yeah, that's 2 big picks on the support and the mid laner. Xander Vestora, represents a huge amount of the damage right now for Sleeper Diamonds.
And so much of that pick was them just... maximum effort just controlling the vision and able to collapse on the 2 people who had pushed up a bit too far. And against the Nunu, I don't think that you can contest this.
Bolt over the wall from Sejuani, looking just to spot... Oh, he can't take the Blast Plant over! That was such a weird interaction. True Rage gets chunked out over the wall. Asdev's intended to come in, but he can't get the Baron. He'll get taken down, as does True Rage. And now Michael Cox is in trouble as well. It's not an ace, it's 3 kills, I guess, because the other 2 had respawned, but maximum effort takes the Baron, and we'll start rolling in mid.
And now they're up so much, 8,000 gold. They just got the Baron. Everyone's still alive. They're pushing down that mid lane turret, 3v2, as well as also taking that top lane turret.
I'm not sure if you saw that interaction. Was he charmed off of the blast plant explosion by Revan Christ?
So I think it was the Nami wave that actually canceled his canceled him coming over the wall. I'm pretty sure it's the Nami wave. I might be wrong though. Just knocking him up as he's trying to come over.
It looked very strange because he was headed over and then he just like popped straight in the air and didn't make the journey all the way. But regardless,
yeah, no,
it's a good usage of CC to make sure that he didn't get in. He does commit the Q, but that's a one-way trip and not able to secure the Baron. So now they're just rolling through turrets. That's 2 already picked up with the Baron buff for maximum effort.
Yeah, and just with that quick push, the gold lead goes from 8k to 10k, and now they're just so absurdly far ahead. It's going to be extremely hard for Sleeper Diamonds to turtle this out and hit their power spikes, which is exactly what they want to do, just turtle and try to farm it up.
Chat confirming 100% the Nami wave, so we'll give that one. That's a good usage by Glitter and Gains. The true carry, 3-1 and or 5-1 and 13, excuse me, on the Nami. Just a massive performance from her.
Or was it ever even a question that Glitter was the carry for this team? You know, after being 4-0 and 4, now 5-1 and 13, the Nami is just popping off. So confident, in fact, that she walks straight into melee range of the Sejuani and just walks away. As devs intended, not wanting any of that.
Oh, and this is a good prize for maximum effort now as well. The Spicy Dragon spawning at 23 minutes.
Yeah, and that's just gonna make this game even harder for Sleeper Diamonds to come and scale back into, as maximum effort's always going to have that stat advantage now. Even if the gold lead gets evened up as they're pushing in onto this tier 2, trying to pick up the last outer turret.
Yep, still have a little bit left on that Baron buff. I can click on somebody and find out. Looks like it's just about. Actually, there's no timer on it. I don't know. Could go forever. They might just have Baron for, another 10 minutes. Not really sure. Chimichangas just throwing some snowballs at Xander Vistora. Meanwhile, the 4-man squad for maximum effort chunks down the inhibitor turret and the inhibitor in bot lane. Michael Cox does trade back a tier 1 in top, and now is finally starting to recall as the base not in the best of shape for Sleeper Diamonds.
Yeah, and this is likely to be just the second inhibitor going down with 0 contest, as Xander's just a bit too far up.
Tidal Wave comes through just to help secure that inhibitor, and that'll be 2 inhibitors, and they still have the Baron buff to recall. Should be up soon. I don't have the exact Baron timer. That can't last much longer, right?
I'm sure it'll be gone here very shortly, as maximum effort have done just a great job to blow this game wide open. They ended up getting 2 inhibitors for free. They didn't even have to fight for it. Now there's just 1 inhibitor left standing between them and finishing this game and getting so close to that playoff spot. That said, looking at the item difference here, it's not great for Sleeper Diamonds. I don't think that they don't have any previous wounds.
Walks right in. Oh, both CCs used kind of at the same time, so maybe not going to be able to pick him up. Oh, the Orb of Deception is enough for Revan Christ. He's on a rampage now. Was worried they find the Gator boots for free.
And the true damage on the way back, finally able to end up getting that kill and securing that for the Revan Christ, who's now 7-2 and 6, has just been the first to roam every time, the first to every fight, and has been so good on this Ahri pick. As we see them pushing onto that last turret that isn't defending a Nexus.
Yeah, no Baron buff available, but they don't care. They chunk right through it with that double mountain. Look at how quickly these structures are falling for maximum effort as they roll in toward the Nexus turrets. Now they'll have the double super minion spawns. The charm lands onto Xander of Astora. He's able to flash away and stay alive. But now, as Dev's intended, just trying does land the ultimate onto Ashe, but not able to get any follow-up as Michael Cox does dive in. He interrupts the Nunu ult, but that's going to be all that really matters. Glitter picks up another kill for her trouble. Scholastic chunked out as well, and it's 3 for maximum effort. It's 4, and that should be the ace. Is True Rage limping away? Can they find him? They do. It's the ace for 1, and that'll be the game for maximum effort as well.
Yeah, a couple of early fights, and they just snowballed their their lead, pun intended, as maximum effort just pretty much walks through this game, and pretty easy win for them.
Yeah, Glitter 6-1 and 17 on the Nami, the final score line. It felt like everything came up maximum effort this game. Early game, we were able to trade up objectives, and then a pretty clean snowball through the end of it.
Yeah, and those Mountain Drakes just did so much work for them as they melted the entire base of Sleeper Diamonds and then played around their vision well, got the picks that they needed to finish the game out.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and take just a quick break. Next up, we're going to have the High Octane Gamers taking on UCO Gold. You won't want to miss that. We'll step aside for about 5 and come right back. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, let me hit this slide. There we go. Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're set for game number 2 of our cast today. It's going to be between the High Octane Gamers and the UCO Broncos. Hog coming in at 4-2, sitting relatively comfortably up there in third, and UCO sitting at 1-5. Not statistically eliminated, but they would be with a loss today.
Yeah, so definitely everything's do or die for them today as they take on one of the higher ranked players or teams on the board. Hog, if they're able to secure a win here, will definitely stay above Sleeper Diamonds, who we just saw lose against Maximum Effort, and really secure themselves pretty much a playoff position.
Yep. All right. Without any further ado, let's get into game if you're ready.
I am.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And I'll let you start us off this time.
Sure, and on the blue side, we have the High Octane Gamers with... oh, here, let me reorder my stuff. Give me a second. Alright, I have Hog Huntera in top lane on that Tryndamere, Possiboy in the jungle on the Ivern, Dem Shrimps in the mid lane on the Veigar, Bug7 and Mexican 69 on the Vayne Thresh bottom lane.
And on the top side of the map, we have the UCO Broncos. In the top lane, Walker M. Ranger playing Malphite, Penguin Job 818 on Jarvan, Blobby in mid on Malzahar, and Starfall and Flying Pandas 42 playing the Ashe and Swain bottom lane.
Yeah, they're taking a note out of the Diamond book, who recently has started playing the Swain bottom lane, perhaps seeing how well it went for them and hoping to emulate that, as Ivern didn't buy items. He just recalled now for his Hunter's Machete, or not Hunter's Machete, the Hunter's Talisman, but at least he won't be missing out on the XP early.
Yeah, he doesn't need the leash anyway because he's Ivern, so no real harm done. Hopefully he doesn't get a leash. I guess we'll put it that way. If you ever want to make your Ivern rage, just start leashing the camp for him.
Yeah, I don't think it affects him too much, but it's definitely a waste of your time, as Vayne is still standing there. Oh, he ends up walking away now.
Yeah, part of that might just be like a timing thing. They want to make sure that... I don't actually know why you would wait. They're going to find Starfall and Flying Pandas in the bush, though. Get the flay down onto Starfall. Some auto attacks being traded across, and Penguin Job can actually join in. He flashes over the wall. Should have EQ available here in just a second. He gets the knockup onto Mex... Oh no, the flay actually prevents the knockup. It's first blood off of the Ignite, but it'll be traded back as Flying Pandas lands the claw. Now Bug7 tumbles forward, not able to get that damage as he's auto attacking down Pandas. Penguin Job can't really do anything about this. He's still posturing. He's going to walk forward, gets the EQ, gets the knockup, the tug back, and the never move for the kill. His Flying Pandas is 2-0 on Swain support.
Wow, already showing how valuable that Swain support can be. As on that initial engage, the damage from Hog was just a little bit split. They put down a little bit of damage on the Aftershock Swain, who didn't take any, whereas the Broncos were on the same page. They both DPS Bug, were able to push him out of the fight, but either way, First Blood was actually Starfall on the Ashe, who ended up falling down as Penguin Job was able to help the Broncos secure the other 2 kills, and Ivern is actually invading onto the Broncos' red buff and should be able to get that for free with his smite.
Yeah, he takes advantage of the scrap in bottom lane, sees that Jarvan commits down there, and says, I'm just going to go take his jungle.
Yeah.
Just Ivern things.
Yeah. Either way, really well played skirmish there in the bottom lane, especially out of Mexican 69, who got the initial 2-man flay, and then flayed Penguin Job 818 out of his EQ Jarvan combo. Yeah.
Yeah, and
as we see it.
This will be an interesting mid lane as well. You can get the extra Veigar stacks on the Baleful Strike by just hitting the Voidlings from Malzahar. So you have that little extra cheeky scaling that you can do in that lane.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see if he's able to stack a ton of extra AP off of that. But I think that the highlight here is this top lane, which already is going so far in favor of Huntera, as with that Tryndamere pick, he has almost a 20 CS lead and such a massive HP and mana lead against Walker and Ranger, who's really having a lot of trouble so far.
Yeah, and the Malphite eventually should do all right into the Tryndamere. It can be pretty rough early on, as we can see, but they have very different ideas about what they want to do as champions. Tryndamere, you want to sit up there and not see your team until they're at the Nexus, and as Malphite, you want your team to group up and hit those big 5-man unstoppable forces.
Yeah, as we see, actually quite a bit of poke coming out from this 2-0 Swain support.
Yeah, the flay in from Messikin just to get that Aftershock proc, do a little bit of damage. He trades back all right with Starfall, but you can see their health bars significantly lower right now than Flying Pandas and Starfalls.
Yeah, and Flying Pandas really is showing to be the carry so far in this bottom lane, who's just putting out so much damage in these trades.
Penguin Jobs here in top lane gets the slow from the Golden Ages, the flash forward from Walker and Ranger. Using those brutal strikes, they do finish him off as Penguin Job will secure that one with the auto attack. So taking advantage of a little bit of overextension from Huntera.
And that's definitely exactly what you need, trying to get a little bit of pressure back in that top lane, as Walker and Ranger was just having so much trouble trying to deal with that Tryndamere. Perhaps killing him will make him not play quite as far up. So this Veigar is actually completely but so is Blobby. So not a whole lot going to come out of that middle lane anytime soon.
Yeah, Penguin Job going to walk in, hits the EQ, doesn't get the knock-up though. That flag just on the other side of the Veigar model, so doesn't get the knock-up.
Yeah, Veigar, Dem Shrimps is able to just sort of walk away from that one and continue stacking his AP.
Question for the chat: Veigar or Veigar? Like, what are we preferring?
Is that even a question? It's definitely Veigar.
I think that's technically correct, but not a professional here.
I'm pretty sure any.
Oh, just gonna use the Malzahar ultimate. Doesn't have any extra damage to come in. It must use the flash out of Dem Shrimps though. So Blobby hits level 6 first and immediately throws down the Nether Grasp.
Yeah, he was completely as this top lane Huntress.
Yeah, that's a dead rock, which
An
doesn't make any
dead
sense.
Rock. But either way, in that middle lane, Blobby hits 6 first, doesn't have any mana for anything other than the ultimate, and Dem Shrimps just ends up flashing away.
Yeah, Bug's actually doing a fantastic job in this lane. Gonna get the Lantern in. Oh, Hook doesn't quite connect there, right into the minion. Those guys are sneaky. But Bug's doing a fantastic job in this lane, staying even ahead in CS right now on the Ashe, and that's always a good sign for the Vayne pick. This is actually the same AD carry matchup that we saw in the last game, which is kind of interesting.
Definitely interesting, but you're completely right, especially with a lane that went so poorly at level 1, and a lane that had so much poke out of the Swain. Being able to stay up is so good.
Yeah, EQ does land onto Dem Shrimps, and they're trying to trade it back. Oh, the Primordial Burst is enough to finish off Blobby. Now trying to just walk away from Penguin Job. Doesn't have the flash available, but he will get Dragon struck down as Pasta Boy hits the... I can't think of the name of the root. It's something
root
stupid.
Collar?
It's Root Collar.
Is that what it is?
Maybe. I'm just going to cheat. We're going to look at it. It's Root Collar. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah,
Either way,
Akedo smurfing.
I'm the jungler. I spend every night talking about how much I hate Ivern, so I have to know what all of his abilities are.
You know particularly about the Trigger Seed. Anyway, they're going to fight, and this should go the way of Tryndamere. He has the ultimate burning, and it's an attempt from Walker and Ranger. He's trying to fight back, but Huntera not letting him have any ground in that top lane.
Yeah, perhaps forgetting that Tryndamere ulti exists. He just didn't have enough damage to really, one-shot him before he could ult, and then didn't have enough health to tank out the ultimate. And Huntera now 2-1-0 on this Tryndamere, up 50 CS, and it's not even close at this point.
Yeah, this normally feels like a difficult team to play Tryndamere into. There's a lot of point-and-click CC. There's a lot of lockdown on the team from UCO. But when you're so far ahead, the game just revolves around Tryndamere, and that's not fun to play. I hate that champion so much, but it does. You see Tryndamere, you see the enemy team, you can collapse on the 4 of them, but then Tryndamere just takes your base, and it just feels so bad when there's a Tryndamere that's this far ahead.
Yeah, and I think, as we see the flash in from Blobby.
Yeah, into the Jarvan Jacuzzi. They're going to lock up Dim Shrimps. They know he doesn't have Flash, and they will finish him off. So the Malzahar Jarvan combo coming up big for UCO as they try to level out some of these kills.
And they can pretty much do that on cooldown with the Malzahar ult, as Veigar doesn't have a whole lot of counterplay to it. Yeah, he's just... if they are able to continue that, it could lead to a massive snowball of this pick, and you know, Malzahar Jarvan could sort of run around and try and take care of this game. That said, I think that the issue with the Malphite Tryndamere matchup is that if you're the Malphite, you lose really hard early, but you outscale. And if you can reach that scaling without falling behind, then there's not a whole lot that Tryndamere can do against you. That said, being down 50 CS and 2 kills is definitely not reaching that scaling without being behind. It's just going to be so hard for this team to deal with Tryndamere, who's just so far ahead at this point.
Yeah, already has 3 turret plates as well. It's actually just tab over 4,000 gold to 2,000 at this point. So that's a little lead for Huntera up in the top lane.
Yeah, so if we ignore that top lane matchup, the Broncos actually have a 1k gold lead. Unfortunately for them, that top lane matchup does exist, and Huntera is able to bring that gold lead into Hog's favor.
Yeah, he just has no fear, just running through the minions. Anyway, the longer this lasts, the better you feel for Hog's comp anyway. They have the Veigar, they have the Vayne, they have the Tryndamere. They just want to sit there and scale for a little bit. So the less kills, the less objectives that they're starting to hemorrhage, the better that this winds up being for them.
Yeah, any sort of a gold lead at this point is definitely in their favor. It's definitely more towards their win condition. And you touched on it earlier, but it really is impressive that we're able to see Bug keep up in CS and even have a CS lead into this matchup that we saw just last game is so Ashe favored. You know, especially with that Swain picking up early kills, Bug has just done a great job, even if they're getting pushed in, just maintaining that CS lead.
Yep, gets Bilgewatered for his trouble as he steps a little bit too far forward to farm, but nothing really going to happen down there in the bottom lane. It's going to be tough. This is not where the Swain, I think, excels. Now Pasta Boy looking for the dive, has Daisy out. This is not fair. This is a 3v1 dive. Lands the root collar onto him. Hunter, didn't hit ult! So he does get traded back, but now Pasta Boy and Daisy trying to whale down on the tower, but Penguin Job is here. Forces the flash, but has the Jarvan Jacuzzi, and that'll lock him up. Penguin Job's on a killing spree. He's 3-0-3 on this Jarvan.
Yeah, and that's actually massive for the Broncos that they're able to get that shutdown onto Tryndamere. Perhaps Huntera not thinking he'd end up picking up tower aggro there, or not thinking that the turret would do that much damage, but it had been prepped on the Ivern, and you know, that's a great counter gank there from Penguin Job, who's able to pick up the second kill onto Ivern. And
oh, a lot of CC landing, but the Lantern is there for Bug 7. Flash forward from Starfall. Now Otto does confirm the kill, as they will take down Bug 7 in the 2v2. And that feels pretty good for Starfall and the UCO Broncos.
It's definitely exactly what you want to see. You want to get a lead somewhere.
Oh, but now Dem Shrimps forced to flash away in the mid lane. Baby Cage just gonna bother Penguin Job a little bit, but
as we see, Penguin Job there went for the EQ flash combo. I liked the look of it, but didn't quite get to land it as Dem Shrimps flashed first. And either way, 3-0-3 on this pick in this bottom lane, who's now just poking them out under turret, and were able to pick up a kill a couple of seconds ago. Broncos at least have a lane through which they can play through. This mid lane who, you know, has the ultimate, has the CC, and then the bottom lane who's just poking out and now has a massive lead, and now 4 turret plates.
Oh, the flash forward, though, the hook from Messican lands. Final hour from Bug 7 means that he'll be able to clean up that kill. And Flying Pandas is relatively tanky with the Demonic Ascension on. He's got the Bird Bomb ready to trigger. Can he hit it? Doesn't land on the Messican. So it'll be the shutdown onto the Vayne.
And that was so well played by Messican, able to find the hook onto Ashe and just turn that around. What was a massive lead with Vayne picking up 2 kills is now pretty even. And when you're the Vayne, being even is definitely being ahead.
Yeah, Penguin Job has the ultimate available. Veigar has no way to leave as he knows he's just used the flash, and that'll be another dead Veigar in the middle lane. Penguin Job doing a really good job tracking these flashes and making sure that he's capitalizing on them.
Yeah, and that's actually a solo kill for him as he doesn't end up giving an assist over to Blobby, but we do see Hog here getting the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, kind of.
Jarvan's coming though.
Yeah, they're sneaking this away a little bit from the run of play. Flag over the wall, sees the health. Is he going to go in? He takes it in, gets the auto, he steals it away. Penguin Job takes the dragon, and now Daisy just going to wail down on him. They will be able to shut him down. Who do they give it over to? It's Bug 7. That's where they want it. And now Starfall in trouble as he's on the wrong side of life. He'll get taken down by Hunter. And that's a tough trade. Do you want second Infernal or do you want kills?
I mean, the second Infernal is always great for scaling, but giving up that 700 gold bounty to the Vayne, it's the one person that you don't want to give it to. Especially with like, Starfall getting caught out on the backside of that, handing another kill over. I don't think that that's worth it, just in the amount of gold that you're giving up.
Another hook lands onto Flying Pandas, and he gets chunked down super low. Flying Pandas, by the way, maxing the Eye of Sauron, the W on the Swain support. Kind of interesting. Also going for Rod of Ages, if you were wondering how that pick is supposed to play out, I guess.
Extremely interesting. Maxing the W is perhaps not what I would expect. I might have, expected more of a Q max for more damage in lane, or even E max for more pick potential, but W's probably the last one I would consider maxing. And then Aroa on the support, with how much gold he has, it's not the worst thing in the world. We'll have to keep an eye on when he ends up finishing, as Huntera just steals away the red buff and slides over the wall. And that's 2 buffs away from the Penguin Job that was so far ahead.
Oh, now he jumps in, though, has the Jarvan Jacuzzi. The stun is really good from Dem Shrimps. He's able to grab that lantern just over the wall of that Jacuzzi. And now the hook lands through the Voidlings onto Blobby. They will trade it back, though, as Dem Shrimps goes down. Messican lands another hook. These are ridiculous. He'll get the flay, get the kill, trying to auto-attack down Blobby. Can the Thresh 1v2? He can't quite, as Blobby takes him down with the Space Aids.
Yeah, and Messican69 actually just smurfing, hitting every single hook they need to, hitting every single flay, and he's just had so much impact on this game as he's able to turn that, what would have been a 1-for-0 round into a, I guess a 1-for-2, but he picked up the kill onto the Jarvan, who has now died twice in a row and is just not doing as much with his lead as he might have wanted him to.
Yeah, and I think part of that is showing right now. He's going for the Black Cleaver, which is a fine item, but after the Warrior enchant, usually you want to see a more aggressive choice. You want to see like the lethality start to come out, or something like that. If you're really looking to snowball on that Jarvan pick.
Yeah, specifically with the comp that he has, that's kind of lacking on damage. You might have wanted to see more of a one-shot build, especially against like a Veigar or a Vayne. That said, I don't hate the Cleaver. I think it gives you some tankiness, some extra damage, some CDR. Huntera is just...
Yeah, Hunter just walks in, they layer some CC in him, but he's still chunking down. He'll take down Starfall. Can he finish off Flying Pandas as well? He will take him down. That's a double kill for Huntera.
And that's that Tryndamere counterplay. When you're ahead on the Tryndamere, you can just do anything, as he's able to 1v2 that and kill the bot lane with relative ease and walk away with 100 HP.
Yeah, that static shift proc just demolishing the health bars of Starfall and Flying Pandas. Another hook lands in the bottom lane as Walker and Ranger forced to flash away. Tumble forward from Bug 7. Can he get the one more auto? Oh, he went back in for the ult. I think he might have been out.
If he had ult up, he probably could have ulted away quite a bit earlier, but either way, that Vayne now 4-2-2 is well on his way towards that Rage Blade and is just so strong at this point. It's hard to see how Hog could lose this game just because they do have that superior scaling and they're already scaled.
Yep, Penguin Job hits the EQ over the wall. That's a big knockup. Not able to get the damage, though, onto Bug 7. He flashes forward. Can't get the auto. Now Starfall flashes forward. They can't finish off Bug, though, as the hook lands from Messican. He's probably going to die for his 80 carry, but what a worthwhile sacrifice. Oh, he flashes away from the EQ. Eye of Sauron can't quite track him down. He will eventually fall, though, to Starfall. But the Rift Herald channeled in the mid lane by Huntera, and that'll knock down the tower.
And that was a great play by Penguin Job that's just made null by just an even greater play by Messican, as he's able to lantern the Vayne out of the Cataclysm damage, and just such great play there in the bottom lane as he ends up giving his life for Bug. Yeah.
They're gonna catch Flying Pandas over the wall. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Knight's Vow first means that it gets a little bit reduced effectiveness on Thresh?
It does, because Thresh is ranged. Oh,
my
wow.
goodness. Primordial Burst from Dim Shrimps will finish off Flying Pandas underneath the tower. I thought that was fine. I always forget about the Vagar damage. The hook lands onto Starfall, pulls him into the Event Horizon, and now they'll chase down Walker and Ranger. He uses the ult out to safety.
And even when the Broncos have the numbers, they're the first ones there. They just aren't able to get anything, as Dem Shrimps is able to catch them out and deal so much damage to that Swain.
Oh, Messikin, another hook connects, but unfortunately into the spell shield of Blobby. Has he missed a hook? This man is incredible on this thread.
He's smurfing. Messikin for, Messikin's just showing that he can play Thresh, I suppose.
Yeah, the 69 at the end of the name is the number of hooks that he's landed in a row. Jesus.
As we see Penguin Job going in for his second.
Yeah, Penguin Job, this is a little bit early, though. He's at 2,000, able to get the Cataclysm. Pastaboy ticking down. The Dragon Lance will pick up the kill, but now he's in trouble as Bug7 starting to auto-attack him down. He's trying to play with Vision. He dashes back out to safety. Huntera just diving through. He will kill off Blobby, as Walker and Ranger will be his next target as well. Bug7 able to finish off Penguin Job as well. He'll condemn away Flying Pandas and tumble back away out of the Never Move. A nice play as Messikin picks up the kill, and that'll be the Dragon for the High Octane Gamers.
Yeah, and that's now an 8-kill Tryndamere. They're able to pick up the Mountain Drake, which as a Tryndamere is exactly what you want, so that you can continue to just continue split pushing. And this really is just Penguin Job 818 against the world, as the rest of his team is just having a lot of trouble keeping up with their counterparts.
Yeah, Rod of Ages is completed for Flying Pandas. He's got 4 stacks on it, so starting to scale up on that Swain support, and maybe could take over as a secondary carry in this game.
Maybe, though, looking at his build, is he going towards a Spirit Visage second, do you think?
I'm hoping it's Merc Treads and like a Morello.
Okay.
Hoping,
that like, seems like a reasonable...
Fingers crossed for that one. That's what I would want to see. If it's the Spirit Visage, then you're basically just saying I don't want to scale, even though I picked the scaling item first, and that's, you know, mixed signals coming from that build.
For sure. As we see Huntera looking for that red buff, but Penguin Job was on it and got it first. Oh my god.
Event Horizon able to knock Penguin Job out of the EQ. He'll Cataclysm back, but Huntera is dominating as Dem Shrimps picks up another kill as well. 2 more fall for High Octane Gamers, and now they'll maybe look toward the Baron with their Mountain Dragon.
They have a Mountain Dragon, they have a Rageblade Vayne, and they should be able to do this pretty easily, especially with the Tryndamere, who already has Infinity Edge. You know, they should do this really quickly. Vayne isn't even on it yet, and it's already at half health.
Yeah, Ping's out from UCO. They know that this is happening, but they don't have any vision of it. Now vision over the wall, but they can't steal it in time. As Huntera goes over the wall, he'll take down Flying Panda. Well, he should take it down. Ult lands from Starfall. It's just a little stun, but the Condemn from Bug7 will finish him off, as Bug is now dominating on the Vayne, and the Poultry Shout onto Blobby should be able to finish him off. He's got the ult. Nope, doesn't. He used the ult earlier. My bad. It's the double kill for Bug, though, as he'll trade it back onto Blobby. They lose Huntera, but they take so much more for themselves.
Yeah, giving up the 1k gold shutdown isn't ideal, but at this point it probably doesn't matter, as Hog has the Baron, they have the scaling, they have the Rageblade, and they're just shoving down mid. And it's so hard to go against a Vagar who's ahead, who can just drop that cage and zone you off of your turret.
Yeah, they have a lot of that. You can just walk up with the Ivern or the Thresh, and it feels like you have that threat of any CC available. And even though it's not the best siege composition, you can still force them back off of the turrets well enough. Now, Pasta Boy going to get found by Penguin Job. He's taking an extra turret shot as well. Penguin Job should be able to secure this one. The Dragon Lance will finish him off again as Messikin looking to collapse. He dodges the flame. Penguin Job not able to get out. He gets hooked out of the EQ. He'll force the Cataclysm in as Dem Shrimps takes him down. Blobby on the flank. He doesn't have the ult available. He's in no man's land. He gets taken down. And the ult from Walker and Ranger doesn't connect as Huntera will finish that one off as well. It's a double kill for Dem Shrimps. And the Meteor's just chunking through Bug with a couple of autos will finish that one off. He flashes forward. He's feeling it. He'll take down Starfall as well. It's a triple kill for Bug7. And that should be at least the inhibitor, if not more.
Yeah, they definitely get the inhibitor here. They don't have the waves to continue pushing, as everyone's coming up here in the next 15 seconds or so. Not sure if they'll be able to finish, but Either way, just so strong out of Hog, especially out of Messican69, as he's able to secure the kill onto Penguin Job, who's the sole carry right now for the Broncos. Yeah, unfortunately for the Broncos, the Malphite ult didn't quite hit. The Swain wasn't able to get in and be a part of the fight, and they're just not able to do much in these fights. As Penguin Job trying to clear out some vision in the jungle here, trying to reclaim something of this map.
Yeah, it's been difficult. He's been zoned off of his jungle camps for a little while now, most of those going into the pocket of Huntera, who, by the way, has more than a Flame Horizon this game over Walker M Ranger, 207 farm to 87.
Yeah, already at a 120 farm difference, and just so strong on this pick as he's finishing his Ravenous Hydra, has the phage for the move speed, is just absurdly strong at this point, and I'm not sure if they can even stop him if they wanted to.
Yeah, now Messican and Bug7 just going to sweep through the jungle. They're looking maybe for that pick, maybe just for some vision clearance. Hook lands on the Walker M Ranger.
Even when he's not going to go in, it's about showing that he could go in. He hit that hook. He knows that you're there, and if he wanted to, he could kill you.
Now, kind of an interesting lane setup. It's the duo bottom, and then you've flipped your mid and your top laner.
Yeah, you probably want the Veigar grouped with your team just because of how strong the box is in a siege scenario. But they even let Ivern go and hang out at the dragon.
That's a good Ash Arrow, though. It'll land on the Dem Shrimps. They'll finish him off. And they get the pick. They lose a turret for it, but at this point, it's the little victories, right? You get that little shutdown onto Starfall.
Yeah.
Now looking to get Bug7. The Flash gets the knock up into the Cataclysm. Should keep him in that Jarvan Jacuzzi, and now the Malphite ult layered in as well. Can they actually finish off Huntera, though, as he's auto-attacking down? There's no Ivern available for this, as he's just soloing Dragon. Huntera does finish off one kill, and then he'll try to peel back. Gets the Lantern back out to safety, and he should be able to kill Malphite as well. Huntera's still huge. He's got a double kill. He's looking for it. He's feeling it. Dashes forward, just healing up off of the minions. Hits an auto onto Penguin Job, chunks him down. Not quite able to look for that Penta, though. But he does get 2 kills and trades it back at least evenly for high octane gamers.
Yeah, that's just crazy off of what it was an great engage by Penguin Job 818 as he gets the EQ flash onto Bug's Vein, and you know, they were able to kill him out there, but Huntera's just so strong. Basically 1v4, just doing so much damage, healing so much with this Ravenous, and you know, it's just so hard for the Broncos to deal with him as he's, even after being poked so low, he's just running around farming everything, taking the entire jungle, taking every wave, and it's just gotta feel bad if you're a Bronco right now.
Unfortunately, it looks like your suspicions were true. He's got the Spectre's Cowl on this white support.
You know, the extra healing on the Swain ult, perhaps, you know, wanting to frontline more for his team. I don't think that's the right pick, but, you know, he ends up picking it up either way. At 2 full items here on the Swain support.
Yep, assist pings going down onto the Baron. I think that's a little over a minute. I guess we don't have a timer yet. That's kind of strange.
Yeah, definitely under a minute, though, since we do see that gray thing on the
yeah, don't you normally get the little timer up in the upper left, though, when it's under a minute?
Yeah, usually you get a Baron timer and a Dragon timer,
well, now
right?
It's 20 seconds. It just flipped over to the yellow, so...
Either way, Hog likely to be there on spawn.
Yeah, Spectate trolling us as usual.
Yeah, imagine Spectate not being broken. As the Broncos are doing their best to walk through, reclaim some of this jungle, and maybe contest this Baron.
Yeah, unfortunately...
Hopefully they don't walk into that one bush.
Are they scared enough of Huntera? Do they see him alone and look to engage, or do they... What are they feeling here? It looks like he gets hit by the Swain W.
Yeah, I'd be pretty scared of Huntera. Yep. Even with their CC, it's going to be extremely hard to kill him as he ended up finishing up that Black Cleaver. And they're already on the Baron, and it's going down so fast.
Yeah, Hawkshot did spot out the Baron. Walker Ranger's in position. Does he ult over the wall? Oh, he walked into the Event Horizon. Not able to contest, and that'll be smited away as Pasta Boy secures the second Baron of the game. That's the first hook that we didn't see land for Messican, but, you know, you can't hit them all.
Wait, he's
actually human.
He's on the downward slope. This is your time, Broncos. You can engage. He might miss a hook.
But now with the
As we
second
see,
Baron, they're going to roll in. Inhibitor does respawn in the top lane, so not going to see the double minions. Oh my goodness, they just take down Walker and Ranger. Messican actually takes the kill for himself. No more supporting, I'm carrying now. But they'll take down the Inhibitor. Flash forward from Messican, or from Dem Shrimps, excuse me. He will stun up the Flying Pandas. He's into the Demonic Ascension, but it doesn't really matter. Penguin Job gets taken down on the side. Blobby just trying to slow up the progress of Huntera. He'll live just barely. It's a triple kill for Bug7 as he tumbles in and tumbles back out gleefully. It's the ace. It's the game for high octane gamers.
yeah, they just sort of had to lead the whole game, especially in that bottom lane, especially in that top lane, and they're able to just run that around the map, run the Trinity around, and hit their scaling and end the game. Unfortunately for the Broncos, the carry job of Penguin Job 818 just wasn't enough to take them to the promised land, as we see Penguin Job 818 has left the game.
Yep, and unfortunately that will eliminate UCO Broncos from playoff contention. It all but locks up Hog. I believe they'll need one more win in the next 2 weeks, and I think they have a VRM too, so don't quote me on that one, but should be looking good for Hog.
Yeah, definitely, especially after how dominant that game was. Perhaps a little bit to shore up there in the mid game, as it looked like they were having a bit of fun. But either way, a really strong performance, and they can feel really good about that, especially Messican on that Thresh.
Yeah, Messican on Thresh was that was a masterpiece of a Thresh game. Really well played by him. So we'll step aside for about 5 minutes again. When we come back, it'll be, I believe, I'm just going to double check, make sure I'm not saying anything wrong. Yeah, it's our game of the week. It's going to be G5 taking on Return of the Middle Sticks. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5.
With the souls of your kind, human, don't give up. The time is now. Your determination will set you free. moment. Is this a mirage or a chance to fulfill my mission? A river in a dry land, the left is in a lost land, a heartbeat for demon, always is in a siege land. I'm giving the balance, but I'm standing on razor's edge now. Walk quick, or my life is over. One strike just of aim, then I'm out of his field of vision. Don't ask why I'm ready, but I'm ready to strike him down now. I just saw the new stars, there's no time for indecision. A river in a dry land, the left is in a lost head. When the hope of new beginnings burned our feet, now we needed a heartbeat for demon, oasis in a siege land. Remind us what we're here for, creating new life, creating rivers in the desert.
Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our next up will be our game of the week between G5 and Return of the Middle Sticks. Both of these teams sitting right now number 1 and number 2 in Bilgewater, and ready to duke it out on the Rift for your pleasure.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a meeting of the Titans, as both of these teams are sitting at the very top, and this is a matchup that's likely to be repeated in playoffs, as both these teams are just looking extremely strong. And this is massive for both these teams, as RHTM is looking to clinch a bye spot, and G5's trying to get into that first place position.
Yeah, unfortunately no bias spots. It's just
Oh,
straight 8
you're
on the
right. Never mind, I
quarterfinals.
lied.
So
I'm a dirty liar. I'm thinking of Diamond. Clinch the easiest matchup, I suppose.
anyway, if you're ready, let's get into game.
I am.
Alright, in 3, 2, 1, and you can start us off.
All right, and on the blue side, we have Return of the Middle Sticks. Is Meristematic in the top lane on that Urgot, Hulk in the jungle on the Nunu, Wing Nation on the Ahri mid lane, Boar Rider Man and Chex Mixon on that Yasuo, Nami bot lane.
And on the top side of the map, wearing the red health bars this game will be G5 in the top lane, Thunderstorm playing Kled, Scrambles in the jungle on Jarvan, Tall X Guy in the mid lane playing Vladimir. I couldn't think of that champion's name for a second. And Static and Acemen 3 in the bottom lane playing Vayne and Braum.
Yeah, and just looking at this comp here out of G5, the Vladimir and the Vayne just have so much scaling. If they're able to make it to mid to late game ahead or even, they're just going to be so effective. Especially Static, who's really had quite a few really good games in the last few weeks, showing that he's one of the better ADCs within the league. And giving him that hyper carry pick is probably a good look here for G5.
Yeah, also our first non-Vayne Ashe bottom lane, we get the Vayne versus Yasuo, which may be a little bit more exciting. We'll see.
Probably, especially with Boar Rider Man on the Yasuo. If you take a player who's likely to int and put him on the int champion, it'll be interesting to see if he's able to get a lead early or perhaps run it down. Especially into a Braum, who I feel like is so effective against Yasuo, consistently going to be able to get him stunned up and even stop his wind wall from knocking up multiple people.
Yeah,
or not his wind wall, his tornado.
And we'll see if he's my team's Yasuo or the other team's Yasuo this game.
Exactly.
And Chex and Boar taking a good path there, making sure that they don't get caught by Static and Acemen in the tri-bush.
Yeah, definitely better to take that safe way, as they end up only tanking a single auto attack from the Vayne instead of, having to all in at level 1, which probably doesn't do too well for the team that doesn't have Braum.
Yeah, in general, Braum just so strong at level 1. It is kind of interesting, Acemen going for the minion dematerializer. I thought that had fallen just a little bit out of favor with the demat changes.
And now that you only have 3 charges, it's less effective at consistently getting wave push. And I think that's why it had been taken previously, was just for wave control. That said, they will definitely be able to secure a few cannons with that. Perhaps worried about stepping up in the early levels.
Yeah, and junglers opting into vertical jungling as well. We saw Scrambles walk in and get that ward at level 1 over on the blue buff wall, so he knew that Hulk wasn't over there. So goes ahead and takes that, but Hulk, maybe sniffing that one out as well, goes ahead and takes the enemy blue buff as well.
Yeah, definitely. And this means that Scrambles is going to be looking to play around that top side, and Hulk is looking to play around his bottom side, play around that Yasuo, try and get him ahead. That said, on this vertical jungling, we see Hulk is able to pick up 2 of the enemy camps, whereas Scrambles only opted for 1. So once they do end up resetting, Hulk is going to have a lot more camps left to clear, which could lead to a massive lead there in the jungle.
Yeah, and the bubbles from Chex Mixin plus the tornadoes from War Rider Man doing a decent job chunking down Static and A-Spend so far. Even using the Wind Wall to try to deny CS. Super annoying, and now the snowball comes in mid, and Tall Guy has the pool. But gets hit by the charm. Can they actually finish this off? He gets rooted its first blood for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, and really well played there by Wing Nation, timing the charm just perfectly as Vladimir comes out of the pool and able to pick up the first blood onto a matchup where Vladimir wants to just stay even. Falling behind early just makes it so hard because you don't have a whole lot of wave clear. Now Ari's going to be able to keep you shoved in and make it harder for you to farm and harder for you to hit your power spikes.
Scrambles is looking toward the bottom side as he stands into the side bush. The tornado from Boar just says, hey, I know you're there. So he'll go ahead and back out without doing that. Now Hulk looking to try to sneak into the top lane for a lane gank up there. Already a lot of action from these junglers.
Yeah, and it looks like he ended up getting spotted out, probably on a minion there. We haven't talked too much about the new Urgot, who did have some changes.
Yeah, Scrambles went over the wall with the EQ. Now Chex is in trouble. She'll get taken down by Static. Boar's on the wrong side of 3 now as he's looking to dash through. And buy some time. He should go down eventually, you'd imagine. Dashes back through, hits the tornado, though, for the knock-up. Scrambles is on the wrong side. The auto being applied by A-Spend gets the slow from the winner's bite, but Static isn't there to help. The Unbreakable, Boar is out.
Yeah, and Static just didn't follow A-Spend in, so Boar on the Yasuo is able to 1v3 get out just fine, and perhaps went a bit too ham. He's actually still just
for
fighting.
More. He dashes back in on Static, gets an auto down, has the tornado available, throws it back across, doesn't connect with it. Now dashes back through, but gets stunned up by the Braum passive. Can Static actually finish him off? No, he dropped the Silverbolt passive, so he'll continue to live for now. Boar Rider Man playing with our emotions and the edge of death here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, as Static ended up autoing a minion, and didn't quite get enough damage down onto Boar Rider Man, and the Yasuo in a 1v3 scenario is able to come out on top and still hasn't recalled yet, but does have a CS lead against the Vayne. So it's definitely what you want to see out of him.
Yeah, and it's CS leads across the board for Return of the Middle Sticks right now. 9 CS lead in top lane. Would be one in the jungle if Hulk actually went back to his jungle camps. There's a 9 CS in mid as well, about 10 in bottom lane. It's looking good in the early game so far for Middle Sticks.
Yeah, and we see a flash having to be extended there by Thunderstorm on the Kled as Merstomatic just going a little aggressive on the Urgot. You know, perhaps if he waits a few more seconds, Scrambles will be there to counter gank, but as it was, definitely a good trade there in the top lane as Merstomatic is now looking at a 5 CS lead, which is relatively comfortable. Yeah, and that Conqueror Urgot is just so strong, especially once he hits that level 9 as W becomes a toggle. Just going to be able to put out so much damage against this Kled. It'll be interesting to see if Thunderstorm's going to be able to keep up with him and maintain trades. That said, Hulk might be looking for a gank here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Bubble doesn't connect from Chex Mixin. They might still win it anyway. A Stack tumbles in. Snowball coming in. He's going to try to drift her around. A-Spend able to knock that directly into Static, and Boar Rider Man gets on top of him with the dash, and Hulk will take that kill. They just ignore the Braum and the Unbreakable and just drift it right around him for the kill.
Really well played there by Hulk as he's able to go straight around that wall and land directly onto the Vayne, and showing perhaps that he's used to drifting on that Nunu. It's a lot tighter of a drift than it is on champions like Sion, so you can do a bit more colorful things like that.
Yeah, from experience, you can really mess yourself up by playing a bunch of Nunu and then trying to play Sion.
Yeah, no, it makes it a little bit harder. You might end up, Cyan ulting into a wall or something.
Yeah, not that that would ever happen to me, but
Never.
you wouldn't
Never.
just ult directly into the wall by red buff or anything. Anyway, that'll be the Earth Dragon picked up for Hulk as well, which with the Nunu, with the kind of, you don't have the traditional ranged AD carry, it'll help them secure objectives a little bit better.
Yeah, no, picking up the Nunu, with his passive now, he does give attack speed to the champion around him that has the highest extra attack speed. I think that's how it's determined. Basically, it's meant to find your AD carry. And this time, he'll definitely find the Yasuo. We'll see if he's able to put that to a ton of use. That said, Yasuo usually caps out on attack speed relatively early, at least as far as it helping out his Q goes. The other thing...
Gank in the top lane here, Scrambles throws Meristematic into the Jarvan Jacuzzi, but the flash away will keep him safe. So trade of flashes, or trade of, I guess, spells up in the top lane. It's the two ultimates for Thunderstorm and Scrambles for the flash of Meristematic.
Yeah, and we'll see if Scrambles is able to return and take advantage of that cooldown. That said, I wanted to point out that it looks like Meristematic opting for the Q max on Urgot. I think it's more popular now to go with the W max so you can hit that toggle more early in the game, but perhaps looking for more poke this time around instead of all-in power.
Yeah, not that I have first-hand knowledge of it, but looking for the poke against Kled rather than the pure all-in.
For sure. As we see...
it's going to get knocked up into the absolute zero, and Aceman will go down. The teleport being channeled by Thunderstorm now forces Borin checks to back, but the teleport from Meristematic, the secondary collapse here as the bubble lands. The ult sails just wide from the Fear Beyond Death, so they can't finish that one up. As Scrambles is here now, it's a 4v3 for Middle Sticks as they're still pushing this into tower.
Yeah, it's a trade of teleports as ROTM just has so much CC. They lock down Aceman on that Braum for days, and he's not able to move at all. They end up picking up the kill there, and a little bit of damage onto the turret. But, yeah, either way, we're now looking at 2-0-1 Nunu, and about a 2k gold lead here for ROTM as Boar playing extremely well around that wind wall, able to take a favorable trade into the Vayne.
Oh, final hour from Static condemns him into the wall. It might have been off a little more than he can chew, but the flash over the wall. Static does follow him. Gets two, but can't quite get the last Silver Bolts proc as Scrambles just kind of peeks in. But both Summoners Burn now onto Boar Rider Man is definitely a target for a gank.
Yeah, we'll see if Jarvan's able to take advantage of that. The Cataclysm plus Vayne, who's able to condemn people straight into the Cataclysm and get that stun, is definitely a strong combo. Be interesting to see if they're able to pull that off, as Boar's still playing aggressive. He's laning with that Nami, he's already back at full health, and Vayne's starting to do a lot.
Scrambles is here, gets a big double Cataclysm. The dash doesn't quite get him out, so Boar is trapped as Scrambles takes him down. And now the snowball into mid lane lands onto Tall Guy. Pool expended, but can he get out? The Phase Rush proc helping him out, but the Charm not quite able to connect from Wing Nation. Neither does the Orb of Deception, and Tall Guy will escape the gank.
Yeah, and Tall Guy learning his lesson.
Tall Guy,
is he going to get the Ignite? The Q?
Oh,
anything?
He got the Ignite! The Flash expended, but not quite enough as Wing Nation goes down. Tall Guy secures the solo kill and gets some of those stacks onto his Dark Seal.
Yeah, and well played by Tall Guy as he learned from the last time. Flash is immediately coming out of the pool so he doesn't get hit by the Charm, and able to turn that around and get the solo kill onto Ahri. As Wing Nation, perhaps just being a little greedy with his Flash, ends up getting taken down by the Ignite.
Yeah, now Hulk and Scrambles and Tall Guy all standing off around the Scuttle Crab. Scrambles goes in with the EQ, the ult channel plus the shield from Hulk actually doing enough to deter the engage from Tall Guy and Scrambles, and that'll force them back as Maris looks to help collapse a little bit, and they'll actually take away the Scuttle Crab as well.
And that's the Nunu players. They have the Consume, they have the Smite, they want to contest every single crab, even if it means going 1v2, and he's able to push Scrambles off with the help of Meristematic and end up securing that crab.
So as we take a short breather here, it's 3-3, about a 1,000 gold lead for Return of the Middle Sticks. Are you super uncomfortable as G5 right now, or are you thinking that you need to have that advantage here in the early game?
I think that they're probably fine because they have that scaling of the Vayne, of the Vladimir. If they're able to hit 2 items with that Vayne, getting that Rage Blade, I think that they're looking perfectly fine. Being only down 1,000 gold, I don't think is too big of an issue. That said, they will definitely have to play well around the Yasuo, who has the chance to just take care of these fights, especially since there isn't a ton of CC coming here out of the G5 composition.
Yeah, and again, it's the CS leads really that are telling the tale right now. Despite the even kills, kind of even turret platings as well, it's the CS advantages that are giving Return to the Middle Sticks that 1,500 gold lead right now.
Yeah, and the big one is coming out of this top lane with Meristematic, even though he got ganked, able to maintain an almost 30 CS lead against the Kled, who, generally speaking, has an okay matchup into Urgot and is usually able to pressure him early.
Oh, Chex might be in trouble, gets condemned into the wall. The Bilgewater forces the tidal wave out. The ult not hit by Borrider, man. He's looking to try to trade it back as Static is ignited. Gets the last breath onto him, dashes back through. Can he get the autos onto Static? Can't quite do it as Hulk comes in with the snowball, just rams that right into A-Spin, but that'll force him back.
Yeah, the wind wall just wasn't far enough up to be able to protect Chex Mixon and let her cast her ability. She gets CC locked, stuck on the wrong side of the wall, and ends up dying to the Vayne, and who's now 2-1-2, gonna pick up a couple of plates here, and that's definitely exactly what you want to see if you are G5. You're hitting that scaling on your Vayne, and you just need her to be just a little bit far ahead.
Scrambles is just behind them. He lands the Cataclysm directly onto Hulk, but the extra shielding gonna get stunned up as Wing Nation tries to chase him back. Hulk will fall, but the dash over the wall from Wing Nation looking to collapse. They will take down Scrambles now. Thunderstorm in trouble. Not quite able to land the corrosive charge though, and the charm sail's just wide as well. Tall Guy just gonna take an extra chunk. Can they actually do anything to Tall Guy now? Fox fires, plus the corrosive charge. There's the slow, the dash forward doesn't connect. We're apparently not going to watch that anymore as we're down in bottom lane.
Yeah, it looked like the Urgot ult ends up landing, but not quite enough damage to pull the Vladimir in, as Tall Guy's able to just barely get away, and it looks like it's a trade of 1-for-1, both junglers going down there. Or did Kled fall as well? No, Kled doesn't have any dots. Kled made it out.
Yep, Kled got demounted, but nothing permanent there.
Meristematic, though, able to pick up that crab, which was the ultimate objective there. And head back top, push out his wave, and maybe look for a recall. Should be close to that Black Cleaver now, which is just such a massive spike for this Urgot. He's going to be extremely strong with that finish.
Yeah, Borrider and Chex Mixon gonna go ahead and they actually grab the first turret away. The bubble lands onto A-Spen as well, as Bor just dashing around the fight, hits the last breath onto A-Spen. Now Scrambles is here, but so is a teleport as well as Hulk, as the fight gonna break out. They try to get onto Static, but he dodges away from the bubble. Now the kite back from Return to the Middle Six. The teleport behind, though, from Meristematic. The shotgun knees doing so much damage as they blow through A-Spen, and now Static in trouble as well as Scrambles. Static gets knocked up. Scrambles should get taken down as well as they do the chase down. It's 3 kills for Return to the Middle Six. They'll demount Thunderstorm as well. The snare under the turret will get finished off by Wing Nation. It's 4 kills for Return to the Middle Sticks, and they secure the bot lane turret as well.
Wow, and I thought that with the Meristematic teleport coming in just a little bit late, he was in the middle of 4 people. It might be a favorable fight for G5, but they're not able to take down Meristematic, who's just so tanky and puts out so much damage. RTM's able to turn that fight around, end up picking up 4 kills to the turret, and have pressure on this mid lane. Might look for this turret as well.
Yeah, and already just rolling through the objectives. No dragon in sight, so you roll through the mid lane turret and then going to head over to the Rift Herald, where right now Thunderstorm headed back toward that bottom side. Doesn't have teleport available, so it's at best going to be a 4v5 for G5.
Yeah, RTM missing a little bit of HP on their bars, but they're just walking around as a 5-man. They went all the way from bottom lane in that one fight straight up to the Rift Herald, and they're baiting G5. They really want them to engage here. They feel pretty confident.
Yep, still just tanking up the Rift Herald. Scrambles, walks in. EQ, he gets caught by Borrider, man. Gets knocked up and taken down. Wing Nation finishes off that kill. The bubble lands onto Tall Guy. Not going to get knocked up, though, but the one-at-a-time strat not paying off for G5. There's another Urgot ult that wasn't even close. Anyway, Wing Nation dashes forward. Ignite ticking down onto Tall Guy. He'll get the kill as Chex Mixon takes it with the ebb and flow.
And,
but the Hemoplague actually trades that back. The shutdown goes to Tall Guy.
Yeah, it's definitely the best of a bad situation for G5 is they're able to pick up that return kill, but Static
Yeah,
Ends
Static
up
looking
burning
for a little bit
Bobby
more.
Flash.
Doesn't get knocked up. Forced to use that final hour and tumble away, but the bubble from Chex Mixon into the snowball. And Bull Rider Man should be able to finish this off eventually as the knockup comes through. And Hulk now on a killing spree. Shelly crashes into the inner tower. And Middlesticks probably needs to go back at this point.
Yeah, they still haven't recalled from the initial fight in the bottom lane where they picked up 4 kills, and they definitely are sitting on a lot of gold. We're likely to see Yasuo here finish up his static shiv and at least have a BF sword and a pickaxe, maybe even an infinity edge. Probably not a complete infinity edge,
Yeah.
but either way, definitely. Was he still not recalled?
Nope, Boar's
He's sitting
staying
on
there in mid.
3,000 gold. Oh my god, Boar, it's okay to go back to base sometimes without dying. I promise. Either way, ROTM now looking at a massive gold lead of 4K. They were able to pick up the Herald there, pick up that outer turret in the mid lane, and they're actually in base now. Recalling a bit late, and G5 might be able to start up the Mountain Drake if they do it early.
Yeah, a lot of ability to check bushes. Meristmatic walks in as Scrambles and Thunderstorm get onto him. The dash forward, they're doing a decent amount of damage, but not able to fully commit for it as the rest of Return to the Middle sticks in the fog of war. You don't want to overcommit and just find the Nunu waiting in a bush for you, but Wing Nation taking advantage of this. He's pushing in mid while this dragon's going down. So the Earth Dragon's secured, but the push in mid now for Return to the Middle sticks.
Yeah, and that turret did end up tanking Shelly earlier, so it's probably relatively low. Yeah, as we see, Wing Nation's going to be able to pick that up and walk away relatively free. They trade the Mountain Drake
and then
for
he
that
finds
tier
Scrambles
2.
coming through. Or did Scrambles find him? The Cataclysm does lock up Wing Nation. The Absolute Zero just zoning him out. But now Tall Guy looking for a little bit more. Lands the Hemo Plague onto 2. Charm lands onto Static as he was just a little bit too far forward there, and Wing Nation takes him down.
And ROTM's able to turn that, that trade into a favorable one as they're able to pick up Static on the backside of it. Perhaps going a bit too far forward a couple of different times on this Vayne pick. And G5 just, with Scrambles getting caught out earlier, just not having any HP to fight that. And ROTM's now looking at, 5.5k gold lead.
Chex gets launched over the wall by Friendly Hulk, but just going to find the word in the tri-bush anyway. They're pinging out on Tall Guy. I don't know that they can quite scrap right now.
Yeah, if Tall Guy's the only one defending that top lane turret, they might be able to look for him. We see the Nunu Snowball coming in.
Yeah, Nunu Snowball
And it's coming in fast.
Just going to zone off Tall Guy. They're going to go ahead and take the turret for it, though. And the zoning potential, we were talking about the zoning of the Vagar Cage during the last game for High Octane Gamers. There's kind of a similar threat with the snowball coming in from Hulk.
Yeah, it's a bit more dangerous because you are putting your body in the middle of the enemy team if there is an enemy team there. But with Hulk this far ahead and with ROTM just so strong, they're able to do that without worry.
That snowball just fizzled directly there on Static, but the knockup's going to come through for Boar Rider Man anyways. He'll take the last breath. They're still scrapping. They're can't hit an ultimate. Jesus. All right, Hulk is in trouble as the Kled ult comes through. Will land on the Meristmatic, but the bubble connects. Wing Nation looking to extend this fight just a little bit. Lands the charm onto Tall Guy, and that'll be the disengage. It's a pick off for G5, and they get 2 kills for basically nothing.
Yeah, it was definitely a really interesting interaction. I was under the impression that even if Nunu gets CC'd, the snowball would continue going, but Static able to condemn Nunu out of the snowball and doesn't get stunned for it. So a good turn there by G5 as Meristmatic came in without the teleport, but wasn't quite able to land the ultimate. We'll see if he's able to hit one by the end of the game. Either way, he's well on his way to a Righteous Glory, as well as probably going for a Death Dance for his 3rd item with that Vamp Scepter. Definitely the new Urgot can be such a monster in team fights and in the side lane. He just does so much damage, especially once you finish that Death Dance. It'll be really hard for Thunderstorm on this Kled, who's still behind 30 CS, to be able to really keep up with the Urgot, I'd say.
Yeah, now Baron is spawned. We're looking toward that as an objective on the map, I guess. Both teams have a Mountain Dragon, so it's not super slow. You'd maybe look for the Rage Blade on Vayne before G5 could realistically take it, but either way, we should start seeing more eyes toward that objective.
Yeah, once they do finish that Rage Blade, especially with the Jarvan flag giving extra attack speed, that Vayne's just going to be a monster and be able to do so much damage to that Baron. I don't think either of these teams can leave it unworded for too long because our team even has the Nunu. And Yasuo always puts out a lot of damage. Now finishing that Infinity Edge, hitting a massive power spike here at the 22 minutes. This Yasuo is just going to be so strong in these fights. Definitely not someone that you can leave alive for too long. But we touched on it a little bit earlier. G5 doesn't have a whole lot of point-and-click CC to deal with the Yasuo. We'll see if they are able to lock him down with the Braum or perhaps even with the Jarvan. But outside of that, it's kind of rough for him.
Yep, dragon spawning here in a minute. Let's see what flavor it is. It's a spicy dragon, so rolling high on the dragons today. Static goes ahead and condemns in Hulk, looking to start that fight. Gets the little shield from the Absolute Zero, but that's going to be it as Wing Nation and Boar Rider Man looking to collapse, but Hulk is already down. The condemn away onto Wing Nation means that they won't be able to get him stunned up. It's now 4v5 on the map for G5 as the dragon spawns. Tall Guy gets chunked pretty low with that Ari combo, but the dash away means that they won't be able to reaggress, and it's a lot burned for Return of the Middle Sticks, and Hulk is down. Now the teleport from Meristematic, looking to put some pressure in on that top lane. And what's G5 going to do? You'd think they want the Spicy Dragon.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting that Meristematic decided to burn that teleport to pressure that tier 2, but G5 just doesn't seem to be able to make a decision. They're just sort of standing around here. Braum is solo clearing the mid wave as Kled finally comes over, and Tall Guy's responding top lane, and they just don't get anything for that. That said, ROTM wasn't able to secure the dragon or the turret for Meristematic's teleport, so we'll see if G5 is able to take advantage of that teleport advantage that they'll have in that Kled now. And these lane assignments as a whole they seem interesting, as G5 deciding to ARAM, and ROTM using Ahri to clear that side wave, Yasuo in the mid lane, and we're meeting back up around the dragon again.
Yep, it's a Scryer Orb, gonna spot out everybody on G5. The Corrosive Shot slows up Tall Guy as well. And Nunu looking for the fight. He comes in with the Snowball, lands it on to nobody, but they will find Tall Guy on the side. Now the collapse from the side is the ultimate from Thunderstorm, giving everybody that speed boost in the shield. The fight breaks out as Boar Rider Man gets a huge last breath. It's 4 kills. It's a triple kill for Boar Rider Man, and they'll finish that off. It's a quad... Oh, no, I stole it. Never mind. It's a triple kill for Boar Rider Man, and now the ping's going on to the Baron for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, massive Yasuo ultimate sort of secures that fight, but the really big thing was Wing Nation flashing over the wall, able to land a charm onto Vayne in the backline and completely 100-0 her and secure that fight. Make sure that G5 isn't able to put out any other damage. And we'll see if they wait to give checks to the Baron. They don't really have a choice, I suppose, as ROTM ends up picking that up, and the Infernal Dragon's still up. ROTM deciding, once again, not to recall. Instead, they want the other objective as well. We'll see if G5's able to catch him out here or not.
Yeah, with the Mountain Dragon, they should do it relatively quickly, as well as the Nunu. We'll see if anybody from G5 can get there. It doesn't look like it is. Thunderstorm's headed back to top lane, and the rest of G5 just going to let it go. So the Infernal Dragon goes the way of Return of the Middle Sticks as well.
And ROTM gets their cake, eats it too, and wins the team fight. And they're just so far ahead at this point. Up over, I can't math, what is that, 7k? Yeah, up just over 7k now, especially...
Oh, Snowball going to land on the A-Spin. Flash forward from Hulk as he's looking to lock up as many as possible. He'll get the ultimate onto Vladimir. Boar Rider Man dancing forward. Doesn't get the knockup, though, as Tall Guy gets chunked out. Winged Nation will take out Static as well. It's the double kill for Winged and the push in mid for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, and they're at least going to be able to grab an inhibitor here and maybe even end the game as everyone's still alive. And they're winning fights, even with Boar still hasn't recalled, sitting on more than 3,000 gold. But it doesn't matter. They're far enough ahead that they're just pushing in. See if they look for more, and it looks like they are. Looking to grab at least one in Nexus turret. And they should be able to end the game.
They'll finish him off as well as Thunderstorm dashes in. He'll get dismounted. Corrosive Shot lands, and he'll go down to the shotgun knees from Meristematic. That'll be Nexus turret number 2 as well. All that's left to do is see how many more kills go the way of Return to the Middle Sticks as A-Spin goes down. Static trying to get something back. He'll condemn Meristematic into the tower, but it doesn't matter. It's a double kill for Boar Rider Man and the Nexus for Return of the Middle Sticks.
Yeah, and it seemed like ROTM just was a bit more coordinated there in the mid game, and their team fighting prowess was just on a level different than G5. G5 not able to keep up, not having enough damage in their composition, and not able to hold out against ROTM.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and step aside then. We'll be back with our last game of the day. It'll be Hardstuck Gold versus Ghost Gaming. So we'll be back in 5. You won't want to miss it.
My heart is a furnace, had a selling my word of conflict. One goes what keeps me going. Take back what I lost to the bosses of greed and fear. Yeah. Don't ask if I'm ready, but I'm ready to take them down now. The time for a new start is constantly drawing nearer. A river in a dry land, the lessons in a lost head. When the hope of new beginnings burned our feet, now we needed a habit for demon. Oasis in a siege land, remind us from here for creating new life, creating rivers in the desert. When a cool drop of water's all I need, gotta clear my head of anger and greed. A place to refresh heart and mind. Can I find some time? And rivers and dry land, the last days are lost. When the hope of new beginnings burned our feet, now we needed a heartbeat for demon. Oasis in a siege land, remind us what we're here for, creating new life, creating rivers in the desert.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a couple of teams that are currently outside of the playoff picture. I believe Hardstuck Gold still has a shot at making it in. Does Ghost as well?
Statistically, they do. I apologize. I was actually still muted on OBS, so um,
Um,
all they heard
so
was
I'm
you.
just talking to
That's fine.
myself
Yeah,
again.
like usual. But um, anyway, Ghost versus Heartstuck Gold, two teams, you know, looking for a little bit better. Still not statistically eliminated, but they both need to win out and need a lot of help in order to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, so either way, definitely a must-win game for both of these teams. We'll see how that ends up going.
Yeah. So without any further ado, let's get into it. If you're ready.
Always.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I have to reorder this. That team's good. Okay. Spawning on the blue side of the map, wearing the blue health bars this game, will be Ghost Gaming. In the top lane, Triquadian on Rumble, Acidic Tom in the jungle on Vi, Essential Rain in mid lane on Xerath, and in the bot lane, Ivory subbing in, and Danny Phantom playing Karma, and Lucian, I guess, as well.
And on the red side, we have Hardstuck Gold with Drodvir in the top lane on that buffed up Mundo. Shinyo Horu on the Rammus in the jungle. Mehuli on the Orianna in the mid lane. And then Pal the Drag Queen and Corvus Colossum on the Pike in the support position. Oh, I suppose it's Pike Kaisa, huh?
Yeah, whatever.
And looking at these, it looks like both teams actually have relatively balanced team fighting compositions. You know, they have some early game, they have some mid game, they have some late game. You know, it's not full scaling like we've seen from a couple of other compositions earlier today. I'd say both of these compositions are pretty balanced.
Yeah, I do worry a little bit about Ghost's composition in terms of you have the Vi flying into the backline, and there really isn't that traditional dive buddy to go with her. There's nothing else to distract. So it feels like Vi's going to dive in, and while your team's trying to chew through Mundo Ramus, it's going to be really difficult for Vi to do a whole lot in that backline.
I think Vi's definitely going to die pretty early. That said, if she's able to lock someone down for a little bit of Seraph damage, for the Rumble ultimate, I think that they could probably, you know, do a pretty good job of isolating a carry and getting rid of them pretty fast. That said, looking at the Rumble, Triquadian actually opting for the Conqueror, which is definitely an interesting decision, but now that I think about it, it seems relatively good on Rumble.
Yeah, the Conqueror is a pretty good keystone on Rumble. I'm more curious about the Doran's Ring myself.
Uh, yeah, I don't have an explanation for that. I don't think that Doran's Ring is great on champions who don't have mana. It's wasting a little bit of your stats, so a choice, and we'll see how well Triquadian's able to do with that.
Yeah, and for Ghost, this is another new lineup for them. Danny Phantom, usually the AD carry, now playing support. Their usual support is Acidic Tom in the jungle, and then they've brought in Ivory, who's a long-time OKLCS, GRLCS vet, so maybe looking for a little bit of stability with their lineup here toward the end of the season.
Yeah, just perhaps looking for a different look here and see if they're able to have a bit more success than they have thus far. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see how well the subs and the role swaps end up doing. That said, here in this mid lane, we already see a pretty significant HP advantage for Central Rain as he sort of outranges that Orianna and makes it really hard to lane if he's able to hit his skill shots.
Yeah, Shinyu Horu already had to recall. He goes back and buys the boots with the Predator enchantment, now onto his second buff finally, so kind of an interesting jungle path from him. Whereas Vi with the much more traditional went for the, you know, red Raptors, top scuttle, blue, or bottom scuttle, blue,
Yeah.
top scuttle. So
Vi's
actually
gonna be
getting, yeah.
A couple of camps and a little bit of XP early. That said, with the Predator boots, it's relatively common to recall early and look for an early gank, and we'll see if he's able to get it here in that top lane with that early Predator. He is on a ward, though, so doesn't look like he'll be able to get anything there. He's might find Acidic Tom, but
Yeah,
they
Drodger
just
goes
sort
in
of
for the
walk
trade,
away.
but that Conqueror proc from Triquadian really helping to narrow this out. The Electro Harpoon, the flash forward, but he overheats, but he gets the auto. The extra auto damage actually so key for him. One more auto from Pal the Drag Queen isn't going to connect onto Ivory as Corvus Colossum goes into that undertow. The flash forward from Acidic Tom as he hits the Vault Breaker onto Mayhuli. Not quite able to finish that one off, is now Ramus going to speed his way in, hits the taunt. Doesn't actually hit the taunt, just going to get the bump and the little bit of damage from that. Now another push in from Acidic Tom as the 2v2 in mid lane still not ending. Meanwhile, the 2v2 in bottom lane, flash forward for the hook as Corvus Colossum doesn't quite connect on that one. Forced into that pass, into the W. Yeah,
the below the depth, something like that. Yeah, either way, he heals, he goes invisible, make sure they can't trade too much damage back onto him, and Acidic Tom is...
Yeah, Acidic Tom here, he lands that onto Pal the Drag Queen, knows that his flash isn't up, and they'll take him down as Ivory picks up the first kill down there. Sorry, Triquadian had the first blood in the top lane. I'm already behind.
Yeah, Corvus Colossum is able to get away there, but so proactive here in the early game is Acidic Tom on this Aftershock Vi. Extremely confident, playing extremely far forward, and willing to dive into these enemies and throw his body at them.
And you know, what more can you ask from your Vi than wanting to throw fists?
Right? But either way, significant amount more pressure already. Even with Shinyo Horu opting for that early recall with the Predator boots, not able to make anything happen with them yet. He's actually going for his second recall as Vi decided to just recall a full Caulfield Tamer. And, we'll see quite a bit of damage probably coming out of this Vi.
And Triquadian, for his trouble, got the first blood in the top lane, picks up the Sorcerer's Shoes, and you can see that damage coming out onto Dradvir. Really needs to continue bullying on the Mundo, though, because against the magic damage top lane, against the magic damage mid lane, Mundo's kind of into his wheelhouse. He really wants to build the Spirit Visage first if he can, and now he can get away with that being in this lane.
Yeah, into a double AP composition, Mundo has always been and will always be extremely good. So it's really beneficial for Ghost that Triquadian was able to pick up that first blood and has been able to continue to pressure onto this Mundo. That said, he's actually down in CS, even though Mundo gave up that first blood, as Dradvir's been able to create a nice little CS lead for himself. 10 CS now.
The very exciting Orianna versus Xerath poke. Anyway, what are you wanting to see from these junglers here in the next couple of minutes?
Definitely, both of these junglers should be taking advantage of
Here we go. Shinjuhoru into the top lane. Dradvir has the Masochism ticking him down. He'll get the kill onto Triquadian. So Shinjuhoru able to set up that gank in the top lane, as I was asking you if he should do that.
Yeah, and it was pretty significant, actually, making sure that Mundo doesn't fall too far behind, because we were just saying that Rumble needs to have an advantage over the Mundo. That said, I'd like to see both of these junglers focus this bottom side, which is still missing so many summoners, no flashes down there currently. I'd like to see someone take advantage of that and try and snowball their AD carry lead.
And Essential Rain will go ahead and take the blue buff over the wall, so that'll be a steal away, and we'll see if Acidic Tom's able to defend his own blue buff here coming up.
Yeah, and that's pretty massive in this matchup of Xerath versus Orianna. If Xerath's able to continue just pressing his buttons on cooldown and poking Mehuli out, it'll be very hard to lane, and he should have major priority in terms of lane control. That said, Mehuli is still trading in on him, but is running out of mana, and Shinjuhoru ended up walking bottom lane and is heading towards his own blue buff, perhaps not knowing that it's actually down, and Mehuli's going to be a little disappointed to find out that he's not getting a blue buff this lane.
Yeah, now Acidic Tom is clearing out his own blue buff, so they will successfully get the 3 buff on the second rotation for Acidic Tom and for Ghost, which isn't, super huge, but we'll have to see if that mid lane matchup can start to tilt a little bit the way of Essential Rain.
Yeah, we did see before the blue buff, Mehuli did have a couple CS leads, so we'll check now again in another minute or so and see if that has swung too much. As in this bottom lane, they're relatively even in CS. The Lucian was able to pick up that kill from the gank earlier and sitting on a bit of a lead, has the sustain
Essential
advantage.
Rain is here as Danny Phantom runs in with the shield. Can't quite land the tether as Essential Rain just throws out the W for a little slow and, pick up the ward. Now Acidic Tom in the top lane. Lands the ultimate onto Dradvir. Not that that's a feat. He hit R and clicked on him. But Dradvir taking up relatively well. Needs another Conqueror Prac to come through for Triquadian, but they can't do the dive. And Dradvir will be able to escape. Now Shinjuhoru and Mehuli going to collapse on Essential Rain in his own jungle. Forces the flash away, but they expend the Orianna ultimate for that.
Yeah, and Mehuli actually ended up expending the barrier as well, perhaps forgetting that she was running it. But Acidic Tom coming back around, both flashes expended for the top half of the map of Ghost as they're trading it just for the one of Dradvir.
Yeah, still not able to get that critical blow onto him, and now that'll mean the Ocean Dragon going the way of Ghost, which also helps out the Dr. Mundo up there in the top lane.
Yeah, no, Mundo definitely appreciates that, as he won't be able to be poked out quite as much by Triquadian, and it definitely makes Rumble's job a lot harder, as we see Acidic Tom actually coming around for a third time. No flashes here in the top lane, so it's all straight up.
Can he hit the Vault Breaker? He does connect, and that should be the kill.
Oh!
He just walks out. Triquadian does finally finish it off. The dive in from Corvus Colossum. He doesn't hit the death from below as Ivory flashes forward to hit him with the culling. They'll trade that one back. The tether lands onto Shinjuhoru, and that's a double kill for Ivory now. And the gank from Shinjuhoru goes wrong for Hardstuck Gold, is Ghost able to get 2?
Yeah, the only thing going well for Heartstock Gold there was the Drodvir was actually able to pick up the return kill onto Traquadian, who tanked just a couple too many tower shots. And that said, Traquadian now opting for the Haunting Guys,
Yeah.
which builds into Leandri's Torment. Instead of going for the Morella Nomicon, usually Grievous Wounds is just so important against the Dr. Mundo. We saw it in Game 1 when Sleeper Diamond's top laner didn't end up picking it up. He ended up getting outskilled and wasn't able to take him down. Now we see Triquadian not going for the Morella Nomicon, not going for that Grievous Wounds. We'll see if he's able to continue pressuring this Mundo who's just going to heal so much. That said, Mundo opting for Swifties is a little interesting. Not an item you see bought too often.
Yeah, I'd argue
Perhaps
it's...
just wanting to be a fast boy.
Yeah, I'd argue it's really good if the Rumble was going like a Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which isn't so much in vogue right now, but definitely an older build for Rumble. But it does help him just close the gap a little bit faster and try to be a champion.
Ooh.
That's actually going to force out the Equalizer. Shinjuhoru's here, just going to zip around that red carpet, get the taunt down onto him, and Drodvir will start to wail on him. Can they actually deplete the health bar fast enough? It looks like they can, as Drodvir picks up the kill.
Yeah, and that's Triquadian just sitting up a little bit too far, even with vision in the river. That Predator boot Rammus, he didn't even pop Predator, he just ran in with his Q and able to lock him down for the Mundo.
Yep,
Long
looking
enough.
at Essential Rain here in mid, gets stunned up, but the pullback on the Orianna ult, and now Corvus Callosum is here, and all that's left is who's going to secure that kill. It looks like Shinjuhoru will take it. Now the dash forward, the stun doesn't land onto Acidic Tom, as Danny Phantom collapses, hits the Mantra Q onto Shinjuhoru and Mehuli, and this is kind of a weird little engagement. That'll pull Vi out of the queue. Now he'll take the ultimate back in, and that'll be 2 kills for Ghost as Danny Phantom hits the Q back onto him. Death from below will confirm 1 for Corvus Callosum as he's trying to get away from Danny Phantom. That range, the Mantra Q connects the tether, the last auto as Danny will take the kill.
And Corvus actually ends up killing his entire team as he pulled in the Vi into the Rammus taunt, but Vi had ultimate, able to turn that around and pick up a couple of kills. And you know, it's definitely Ghost favored off the back of a gank by Hardstuck Gold.
Yeah, you do really start to worry about this top lane now, though, as Drodvir looking really strong, sitting at 3-2 with that Spectre's Cowl finished with the extra Kindle Gem. I'm not sure what Triquadian can do other than to try to group up and force fights.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time before he has pressure back in this lane. You know, he didn't go for that early pen. He's died 3 times now on this Rumble pick, and it's just so hard for him to continue pressuring. Mundo has hit his power spikes. And you see even there, just Mundo out-trading him. Admittedly, he had quite a few minions on his side, but okay, maybe going under turret isn't the right choice.
Yeah, now Acidic Tom's here, doesn't hit the Vault Breaker, doesn't have the ultimate available as the red carpet comes out for Drodvir. He's healing so much, just dancing around the edge of this fight. Has the Cleaver trying to dash away, dodges the Vault Breaker. One more Electro Harpoon does land onto him, and he will finally go down as Triquadian finishes him off. As Shinjuhoru runs in, gets the taunt on Ivory. The dash in from Pal the Drag Queen as they finish off 1 kill. The tower not being too kind so far. Right of the Arcane over the top. Not able to connect onto Corvus Callosum, so that'll get cancelled. One more shot does land onto him as Danny Phantom trying to track him down. The Blast Cone might get him out to safety. Oh, the Mantra Q clips him for this slow. Now he's still on the wrong side. The W slow doesn't connect as he's headed to the other side of the map. Gonna get spotted out by the tower. Take a tower shot. I guess we'll catch up on that later.
The great escape here is he's actually going to end up running into Acidic Tom and Triquadian, who just finished the Rift Herald.
Another
Oh,
kill
Corvus!
lands as he takes that over.
Oh,
Corvus
no.
lands right into Acidic Tom as he'll get taken down.
Yeah, and Drodvir and Corvus Callosum both doing their best impressions of
Yeah,
Trick
Mehuli
two
going to take the Assault Battery back in, not able to get that damage. Teleport in from Drodvir, trying to catch somebody overextended, but doesn't look like it's going to be in time. Instead, it'll be the push in mid for Hardstuck Gold.
Yeah, and just continuous fighting from both of these teams as they don't want anyone to breathe. You see, The Mundo just running around, going where he pleases. He's now finished that Spirit Visage, has an extra Spectre's Cowl, likely going for that adaptive helm, and he's just going to be so tanky.
Yeah,
And so hard to deal with.
He
He's
gets
healing
tethered
so
up, but there's
much.
just no damage here from the side of Ghost as Drodvir just chasing him down under tower. He's back to full. Will be forced back away by the tether from Danny Phantom, but... Oh, nope, too far forward. That's the shockwave. That's the kill for Mehuli.
And this Mundo doesn't care about his lane. He doesn't care about farm. He just cares about killing people. As he and Mehuli are able to pick up that kill onto Danny Phantom, who is alone in that mid lane, and they actually end up clearing out that tier 1 as their team also grabs the Ocean Drake.
Oh, he flashed forward into the stun. Now Triquadian gets hit by the taunt from Rammus as well. Oh, he kills off the Pike in the middle of the ultimate, so it's the trade back as Pal the Drag Queen does pick up the kill for Hardstuck Gold, but we've gotten to see some interesting interactions today.
Definitely, if you die mid-Pike ult, you don't go through with it. And this Rumble that we talked about, the build perhaps not being the best for dealing with Mundo,
Oh,
as
acidic Tom.
Shinyohoru has to flash away.
Yeah. Oh, he hits his Predator. Why is
He'll
he
be a fast boy for a little while. And actually using his Predator to help him kill the Scuttle Crab just a little bit faster.
Yeah, Ivory jumping in. He knows that he's stronger in the 1v1 than Pal the Drag Queen. Just chunks him down. Danny Phantom flashes forward, not able to hit that Mantra Q. Maybe it did connect, it just got the magic shield. But Rift Herald going to be channeled, and Shelly makes an appearance here on the bottom side of the map for Ghost.
Yeah, and they're also expending the teleport, just making sure that they end up taking that turret down. And likely we'll have to push for another one, as Mundo's going to be free farming that top lane.
Now Rammus maybe looking for the engage as Shinyohoru sped up in that power ball. Big shockwave lands onto Ivory and Acidic Tom, but it's not able to be followed up so far from Heartstuck Gold. Ballbreaker comes in as they connect onto Shinyohoru, but Acidic Tom is already down. Into the backline goes Corvus Colossum, but he's not able to finish off Ivory. They will kite back as Pal the Drag Queen jumps in with that Killer Instinct, and they'll turn that back around. It's 4 kills for Heartstuck Gold.
Yeah, and the whole time Mundo's just pushing top for free, and unfortunately for Ghost, they're not able to get the Rumble ultimate off. They're not able to put out the damage as Ivory didn't have his flash up, and it's a fight just going all wrong for them as Essential Rain has to expend the ultimate to try and push Mundo off of this turret, but Mundo doesn't care. Mundo goes where he pleases, and he pleases to kill that turret.
Meanwhile, Pal the Drag Queen and Corvus Colossum on the bot side going to take the bot tier 1 as well. And it feels like all of that pressure that Ghost had done so well to acquire throughout the early to mid game is just fallen apart now. And Hardstuck Gold taking big advantage.
Yeah, no, the early pressure from the solution from the Vi, Acidic Tom, who is just so proactive early and got leads for all of his lanes. Everything's just fallen apart at this point. We see the Mundo finishing the adaptive helm, now has a chain vest as well. He's never, ever going to be able to be killed by this Rumble, who's now going for Azanias. Not going to be finishing that Grievous Wounds anytime soon. And looking up and down the item list, no one's finishing Grievous Wounds. This Mundo is just unstoppable until they finish that item.
Yeah, it looks like Danny Phantom might be the first one to it as she has the Oblivion Orb, the most powerful item in the game.
Yeah, heading towards the Morellonomicon, but having it on your support isn't ideal. You want someone who's consistently putting out damage to be the one to apply that Grievous Wounds.
Corvus Colossum not quite able to hit, but the Assault and Battery does come in onto Mehuli. That'll just take Acidic Tom to his death, and a little bit about what we were talking about in the open for these team comps is no one really able to follow up on Vi.
Yeah, and I think the issue is that they're trying to fight without their Rumble there, without their Xerath.
Oh, Shockwave pulls back in Triquadian as Drodvir picks up that kill. The red carpet laid out. Mehuli pushed into a corner here. The Xerath choosing just to fire down onto Pal the Drag Queen, though. They actually don't take down Mehuli. Shinyohoru taken low will get finally finished off by Danny Phantom, but now Drodvir still really tanky, still 3/4 health. He's running through, trying to get on the Ivory, lands a cleaver onto Danny Phantom. The outplay potential from the Mundo. Now the W lands from Pal the Drag Queen. Has the Killer Instinct available. Corvus Colossum goes in with the death from below, but not able to secure the kill. Another cleaver lands onto Essential Rain as they're just trying to bully Ghost off of the tower. Acidic Tom jumps in, does get the... I don't know, Pal the Drag Queen went in, hit the Killer Instinct, trades the kill back, but Drodvir finishes off one with a cleaver as well. It's 2 for 1 for Hardstuck Gold as they continue pushing in.
And it just seems like it's a lack of coordination here from Ghost, as they're not fighting around the Rumble ultimate. When Rumble does ult, no one goes in. You know, he's blocking off an escape path, but no one's there to dive in and force them back into it. And even Essential Rain not ulting the 5 health Mehuli, and now, you know, Hardstuck Gold is looking at a 3k gold lead. Their tanks are extremely tanky. Their carries are hitting their items with Oriana almost finishing that Rabadons, and Kaisa finishing up the Storm Razor and Guinsu Rageblade, which gives her the Q and E evolutions. It's so hard at this point if you are Ghost to see a way that you come back into this game just based off the way that you have been team fighting.
Yep. Danny Phantom finds Corvus Callosum, but he's Pike, so he's got like 7 million escapes for some reason. So he'll get away. Shockwave pulls in 2 as Mehuli maybe looking to start a fight. The Void Seeker not able to connect as Mehuli does get chunked out.
Oh!
Acidic Tom takes the ultimate in. They will pick him off to start the fight. Now Drodvir collapsing from the side as Ivory forced to flee, and Shinyu Horu will find him. He hits the taunt down as Corvus Callosum just kind of scrapping with 2 in the backline as Triquadian and Danny Phantom on the wrong side of everything.
And the taunt lands, but
Acidic Tom still wants this.
over.
He's trying to find Shinyu Horu. The red buff not quite going to take him down as Danny Phantom trying to finish off Pal. The Drag Queen will get him with the Ignite. There were more kills that happened. I'm not really sure. Ghost
What
actually
a mess
has
of a
the
fight is.
yeah. Ghost
you know,
actually has the push here.
And Triquadian's gonna die for that turret. I don't think that he can 1v2. As Corvus Callosum ends up securing that kill, and Corvus Callosum on this Pike is just... His scoreline doesn't look great, but the amount of pressure he's able to put out in these team fights, the amount of zoning that he's doing is really impressive. Especially even that fight where Mehuli got stunned up by Dragon. He ended up pulling by out of her Q, almost saving Mehuli. Just really sick on this Pike so far.
Acidic Tom still really looking for these engages despite maybe not being in the best position for them. A little bit of sun in his eyes maybe.
Yeah, that said, it's really interesting that he opted for the mobility boots. I've been meaning to bring it up a few times. It's not normally what you would see, especially on this Aftershock Vi that's your only dive tool. You would expect something a little bit tankier, but perhaps looking for more picks and hoping you can catch people out with the speed. As we see, Hardstuck Gold is the first one to set up around here, and Triquadian isn't here. His teleport's coming up off cooldown, but it might just be too late as Hardstuck Gold probably going to end up picking this up.
Yeah, Hook lands onto Ivory, but they're not going to really need to be able to follow that one up. Drodvir and Danny Phantom just staring across opposite sides of the wall. Shinyu Horu secures the dragon, and he'll pull Acidic Tom out to his death as well as the Kaisa picks up his 6th kill of the game.
And it just seems like this team is never grouped up as we see Xerath alone once again getting caught out by the Shinyu Horu.
Yeah, Shinyu Horu. Oh.
We'll see who ends up picking up the kills. Mehuli in the end. But this Ghost team just doesn't seem particularly coordinated. They're never in the right place together. They're just always split up. They're not targeting the right people. It's difficult to see.
Yeah, and now Triquadian does something good, gets the top lane turret, but he overstays, and he'll get taken down by Drodvir eventually as well. Just the extra tankiness here. I don't know about standing and fighting that one, but...
Yeah, I don't think he can get away from the cleavers, and Drodvir could always just pop the Mundo ultimate for move speed as Hardstuck Gold are able to secure the uncontested Baron, and so now looking at a 5k gold lead.
Low-key, he could just teleport away.
Yeah. He definitely could. I hadn't considered that, but he definitely could.
Wait, what was that? What the...
You hear that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That was like, was that Kaisa's death noise just playing over nothing?
I don't know what that was. I think that was Kaisa. It was Kaisa or Vi. All I know is it was very loud.
That was spooky. I don't know what just happened there. Oh, there it is again.
I don't...
Okay, there's Vi trying to collapse onto Drodvir. The culling gonna start to weaken him. There's still more yelling. What's happening? Someone's being tortured in this game, and we can't stop it. It might be
It's
Danny
the
Phantom.
haunted raffle file.
It might be Acidic Tom, as he gets collapsed on by Drodvir. Rageborn Mundo gives no fucks. As the taunt comes down onto Ivory, as Shinyu Horror diving in. It'll force the flash over the wall, but Essential Rain will pay for it. The red carpet comes out as it'll welcome Heartstuck Gold to Ghost's base.
I can't tell if it's Kaiser or Vi that we're hearing. But either way, Heartstuck Gold able to pick up that inhibitor for free. They're pushing in that top lane, likely able to pick up that one too.
I mean, I can hear Vi's E coming off every once in a while, but like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Anyway, there's the Shockwave. It's going to pull in Danny Phantom and Acidic Tom. The dash forward means that Triquadian gets left by his team, essentially. Acidic Tom looking for the engage, but can't quite find it, as Shinyu Horror is really fast. He's zipping around.
Yeah, no, but very fast, especially with that Orianna speed up. Just
They'll pull in Acidic Tom, and they should take him down as Corvus Callosum finishes him off with the death from below. He'll take Ivory as well to the depths. 2 kills for him.
Danny.
As they try to get onto Danny. Oh, they will taunt up Essential Rain in the turret. They finish him off. Pal the Drag Queen takes the killing spree as they'll take down the Nexus turrets. Oh my god!
What is that?
All right, well,
Perhaps it's someone cheering for Heartstuck Gold as they're able to take the win there and stay alive in the playoff race.
yeah, Heartstuck Gold improves to 3 and 4. We'll go ahead and flip it over. These are my personal standings, so they might not be 100% correct, but I think that it's right. So after this week, Return of the Middle Sticks, top of the table, 7 and 0. You got a trio of teams at 5 and 2 right now, looking to cement those playoff berths in Hog, G5, and Weird Flex, but okay, who received a forfeit win over AVRM2, worth noting. Maximum Effort and Sleeper Diamonds, 1 game off the pace right now at 4 and 3. Hardstuck Gold at 3 and 4, and then Ghost, UCO, and AVRM, I believe, have all been officially eliminated after this week.
Yeah, it sounds about right. There's only 2 weeks left. It would be pretty hard for them to catch the 5-win teams. But either way, definitely interesting standings here. Is if you're Maximum Effort or Sleeper Diamonds, Sleeper Diamonds ended up dropping the game this week. Really needing to pick up a couple of wins in the next couple of weeks to have a shot at sliding into that playoff position.
Yeah, and it's interesting with the matchups that are left. Return of the Middle Sticks has Flex and Sleeper Diamonds left. I believe Flex also plays Hog, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot of really big matchups still remaining for these top teams, and it's going to be difficult to navigate and figure out who really has the advantage there.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'll be some really spicy games here in the next couple weeks as we wind down and get towards playoffs.
All right, well, that'll do it for us today. You guys will want to tune in at 11 a.m. tomorrow for the Platinum Cast, and then 4 p.m. for the Diamond Cast, and that'll do it for us. The next time you'll see us will be Wednesday on the Get Recalled podcast. 6 p.m. should be the time for it.
Hopefully, unless your spare room gets a little flooded again.
Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Hopefully you come up with a different excuse this time.
Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.